Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We are back. Yes, we are back with season 4 of Ready to Love. We are dealing with season 4 of Owns TV Ready to Love. Guys, we're going to give you guys our first impressions. I'll get some fabulous people on the stage as well to give us their thoughts, their opinions on the recent episode as well. And as always, we want to break things down, and not just not a shallow point of view. We want to bring a more depth and a bit more holistic view to the show and what it brings to the table. So if you are new to the channel, do me a favor, make sure you like this live, okay? Subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff. So obviously, Ready to Love. Do you know what? Let me first start off by saying I think Ready to Love, obviously Own TV must have heard us, because we said we wanted a bit more balance when it came to the presenting. We wanted to see a bit more, and we got that with obviously Tommy's wife, and seeing her involved. Hopefully she'll be involved with throughout the course of the show, and hopefully we get to see her in as well with the ladies, because I think we needed to see that balance. We need to see a woman get involved with the girls and just give a bit more hands-on approach, and I think that will be good to see for better matches as well in the future. Now I kind of like this new batch. I like this particular batch. I think my immediate thoughts were, when I come on to Ready to Love, was that, there wasn't anybody that for me stood out immediately. Nobody was like outstanding. In fact, I'm actually struggling to see who is potentially the alpha. Now I've got a few thoughts towards it and stuff, and a few people that I think could be the alpha, but I really don't have anyone that I say straight away when I saw them, boom, alpha. I really don't have that. I think the closest thing that we got to that was probably AJ. We got a bit of that, and a bit of Joel maybe potentially, but it wasn't much in terms of alpha behavior. Now I know some people said they are alphas, they said they were alphas, but whenever you say you're an alpha, for me that just shows that you potentially are not an alpha. So yeah, I think I think this is gonna be an interesting show, because I think that it's even odds. I think some of the ladies were great, some of the guys were great. I think my problem child that I'm seeing potentially, I've forgotten his name now, the one that said he wanted a child but wanted a son, and if girls don't want a child and he's not involved, I was like, brother, what's going on, cuz? What do you mean, you just want you want a child and not a son? Like, what's going on there? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. What do you mean? Like, how do you make sure someone has a child and has a son? Like, I was a little bit like, sir, you might have to rethink your strategy. So I think there's a lot that's going on the show. I think there's some stuff. Let me just turn this camera down a little bit. I think there's some stuff on the show. I think there's going to be some crazy moments as well. I think we saw from the previews of the latest of the show, we see KG coming back. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know if he's fully recovered from Naya, because that was quite heavy. And I'm guessing the filming took away straight away. I'm assuming the filming was still going on, not long after they had finished filming, the last series. So I don't know how fully healed he is going into a new relationship. We'll have to wait and see, and kind of find out from there as well. So there's a lot of important things that are going to go on, and I want to break down a lot of the people. I guess I want to kind of break down. Let me just get my screen up, because you know me. Shout out, by the way, shout out Romance TV. They brought out this little compilation of people on the screen, and I think that really helped me, because I'm forgetting names out here. So that was really good. So shout out Romance TV, Romance Review TV. Yes. So I don't know if you guys can see. So okay, here's my first thoughts, right? Christopher. Let me see if I can get Christopher up and you guys can see it more clearly. Christopher, because that was my first person. I said it from before I even saw him. Christopher, I said he is our resident KG of this season. Okay, our resident KG. He was embodying all of KG's energy from last season. Obviously, we find out he's a mailman. He's also involved with a bit of business thing on the side as well. I was like, okay, maybe, you know what? Maybe maybe, he's, maybe there's something about him that would be, that would be impressive. Obviously, he's recovering from a drink problem as well. And I said, Lord of mercy. Okay, drink problem. I hope the finances are in order, because I think everyone looks like on the show that their finances on point. So I hope that, I hope that obviously that will be something that might not play against him. I mean, hey, this is the dating world. Obviously, when you're dating, you have to consider all angles, and finances is a big part of conversation. So I can't hate if anybody says they're not really interested in him if he doesn't meet their financial level. So yeah, I think Christopher's quite an interesting character. I did make some notes of Christopher. Where's my notes? Let me see if I can get my notes on what I said about Christopher. Because he's quite interesting in a sense. He's quite interesting. Let me see. Christian. Sorry, I said Christopher. Christian. Producer, I see him going home week 2. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I see him going home early as well. So yeah, 6 years being a mailman. He's obviously a residential Atlantean or Houston person who knows everybody. He's a bit of the party scene. He was a younger person who was full of partying, etc. And he said he potentially would know someone on the show because he knows everyone pretty much. But he rolled himself into an AA meeting some years back. Been 3 years clear of drinking. This is a tough one. I'm looking at it and I'm going to myself, I when I saw the picture I was like, okay, cool, like man's got the picture, it looks really done up, looks like he's gonna really be someone. And then when I saw him, then I saw obviously him on the show, and I was like, oh sir, 3 years clear of drinking and you're a mailman. But then again, I don't know, like I don't want to judge being a mailman because I don't know what the kind of financial situation of a mailman is. I'm not 100% sure what it means and stuff. So I'm not sure 100%. What his finances are saying. But mailman usually isn't that glorified, right? So I'm only assuming. He possibly dated a woman on the show. Not sure about that one. Okay. Maybe, I'm not sure. More than likely, because he keeps saying about how he's been around and everything like that. So, I think with Christian, I was like, I think he could be going home early, just because of, like I said, the financial situation. 3 years DUI and stuff like that. It's not. To me, it didn't seem like he had enough of the pizzazz to drive up these girls and get them to love him the way he needs them to keep him in the show. I don't see it happening, but he may surprise us, so we'll wait and see. Who else was on my list that I thought to myself, yada yada. Let's see who else. Okay. Let's see in my list. Okay, cool. I don't think there's anyone else who, for me, stood out as the top. But if I say obviously, I think it was. Okay, Khalil. I like Khalil. Okay, so Khalil. Let me get my notes on Khalil. I like Khalil. Teacher, but hasn't really found love the way he needs to. Did I miss out the L? Thank you for that, Kat. Thank you for that. I missed the L on the thing, fam. Thank you. I appreciate that. Khalil, I like Khalil. I think he's an interesting candidate. Obviously, he's a teacher. He's 40 something. He's 41. Loves teaching kids. That's all for me. That's always a good sign. Someone who loves teaching kids, loves what they do. That is somebody who can potentially look after your kids in the future. He may be happy to be with somebody who's already got kids. He likes women that are voluptuous. He likes the curvaceous woman. You know what I'm saying? He likes to go with a bidet. You know what I mean? And I think that in itself lends him towards certain people. I think there was Venetia, and there was also Tressa, who are quite curvaceous. Even Kyra. Kyra's quite curvaceous as well. Kyra's quite full on and quite thick as well. So he may be finding himself, with a few women that he might be really interested in Khalil. So that he's got a few options that could potentially be on the table. Again, he mentioned about having a really mad car accident. Someone said, "Why does he look so aged on the photo?" Because he looks because he looks aged even on the show, bruv. He does look aged on the show. But you know what? Listen, some people like that look. Some people like that look. Some people like the little bit of the aged look. Do you know what I'm saying? Some people like that bit of an aged look. So hopefully someone will like him. But I think with the fact that his situation was that he had a car accident, almost died, and got married to the girl that was in the car with him. Someone said he's 46, ain't he? He's actually 41, man. He's 41, life of Bodge. He said obviously he got married to the girl who got into a car accident with him, and the reason why she got married to him is obviously because, you know, situation where, you know, you go for a life and death situation, and then, you know, you think to yourself, why not? You know, we almost went through death and we almost passed out, we almost died. We should really you know, get together and not waste time, because we almost lost our lives. So I get it. I get why that happened. Obviously, they had an annulment because that must have been soon as well. She said, "I'm sorry, the whole story didn't sit with me, right with me." I wonder why it's this. Why did the story not sit with you? Let us know in the comment section. Why did the story not sit down with you? Sorry guys, if you want to get involved, I keep forgetting. Let me put a thing on here. If you guys want to get involved, obviously it's a live, isn't it? It's not for us to, you know, I always like to get you guys involved and stuff. Let's have a look. Okay, if you want to have your say. Okay, cool. So if you guys want to have your say, let me know in the comment section and we'll get you guys on. But yeah, I think, you know, I hear it. You know, you go for a life and death situation, and you immediately want to be able, to bond with that person. In fact, you've gone through something that people have never gone through. So only you two actually understand what happened. Sinead said the story felt a little bit impulsive and may have bonded adverse trauma with the woman. Yes, so that was obviously some clear trauma bonding that happened. That's what caused, and I say even trauma bonding. Sorry, it's not trauma bonding. It's the incorrect term. They bonded over trauma. They bonded over trauma. My bad. I trauma bonding is not that. They bonded over trauma, and the fact they had gone through such a crazy scenario. And so I do kind of understand why they felt the way they felt. I do understand why, you know, that went into a marriage thing. One thing I would say, and I'll throw a wind of caution, he said he keeps attracting cold-hearted, savage women. Cold-hearted, savage women. And I think that's really important to pick up, because if a man keeps picking up these cold-hearted women, it says a lot about himself. Because you see, these cold-hearted women are attracted to people oftentimes who are carrying a lot of feminine energy. Can I be honest? Because that woman's carrying a lot of masculine energy, right? When they're cold-hearted, defensive, not open to emotions, they often attract people who are open and very in tune with their emotions. That's not to say he's bad. That's to say that he's just maybe very much in tune with his emotions, and therefore he's got to look at boundaries. Because boundaries are so important when it comes to relationships. You know, in relationships, you've got to make sure that you have good boundaries so that when you get into a situation with people, they can't take advantage of you, right? And you know, it's a tough one, you know. He said obviously. Yeah, he also mentioned the women are really gorgeous. Yeah, he did say that. He said also as well that the women are really, really pretty, but they're cold-hearted savages. And like I said, that speaks a lot to the fact that his boundaries may not be that great. You know, it may not be that great. And so he's attracting these women because these women are looking for people who are going to hold them, who are going to be able to complement their particular their energy. So whenever you're carrying a lot of masculine energy, you're looking for someone who's carrying a lot of feminine energy, and vice versa. If women carry a lot of masculine energy, they often end up with men who carry a lot of feminine energy. And so you'll see that when both parties are carrying too much feminine or too much masculine, they tend not to cross each other's path, because like I said, you're looking for the complementary you're looking for the complementary energy in that respect. So yeah, I think, you know what? He's one to watch. I think he's gonna be interesting to see. He's probably gonna go after, like I said, the girls that are thick. He's gonna go to the ones that are thick. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens to him. Let's have a look. Who else do we talk about? Robert, I'm sure Robert Birdman. I love that comment. Yes, Logan. Yes. All right, cool. Who else? Oh, okay, that's Joel, isn't it? That's Joel, right? Okay, Joel. All right, Joel is another interesting character. Joel is interesting. And Joel's interesting because although I sense the brother is about that life, there's still part of me that doesn't really believe it. That's why I said I didn't think anybody was really an alpha male. Like, I know he was really showing that, you know what, okay, I'm about this life, but I don't know. I'm not really 100% sure. I'm not 100% sold on him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not 100% sold. But he did express some really, really cool, like, I say cool things, but he did express some things that, you know, I think could be some important information. Someone said I need you to close your shirt. He did obviously, you know, disclose the fact that, you know, he's carefree, he's nonchalant. You know, he can laugh at anything. He also said as well that he had previously, you know, been in a marriage with, you know, his wife. You know, and of eight or so years or something like that, they had been together, or even a bit longer than that. So he had been in a very lengthy relationship. Had she not passed away, I think, had she not passed away, I think he would have continued in that relationship. So it does sound like he is one of those loyal ones. So in that regard, I liked him. I was like, okay, cool, because this guy looks like he's down to the cause. He's down for loyalty. You know, he didn't. You know, he stayed with his wife, and unfortunately, because she had contracted cancer, that's why he couldn't, you know, continue on a relationship with her. But they have, you know, 8-year-old twins. So he's got 2 kids from that particular relationship. You know, yeah, that, I mean, to be honest, most people have got kids on the show, so it's going to be an interesting factor in terms of how people play the game, because most people on the show got kids, like women and the men. So yeah, he's got 2 kids that are twins. He looks like a good father figure as well. But he's very much invested in the outer appearance. Listen, trust me, when they start posting you always naked, running naked, press ups, naked shots, naked in the gym, everything about him is naked, it's all about the body. Then they are purposely showing us, you know, the body all the time, because maybe that's where he puts a lot of his energy into. Yeah, and a lot have been married as well. Exactly, Nat Lucy. A lot of people have been married as well. Some people on the second, some people on the third. You know. So yeah, Joel, he's always running around naked. I was like, bro, I mean, are you gonna always be naked? Is this what we're doing? Like, every shot they were showing, brother, man's naked, blood. I was like, yo, fam, do you have to do press ups naked? Do you have to run around a block naked? Do you like? There was so much nakedness. A lot of nakedness. I was just like, bro, like, there's a bit too much for me. I said, this guy might be, I'm not going to say conceited, but maybe where he prides himself is his physique, and maybe not the mind. Maybe he prides himself more on the physique than he does the mind. And that will, and if that's the case, we'll see that on the show. We'll see that come through. We'll see how he plays the game, right? So, yeah, someone made a good point. He's seen clear intentions due to his experience and his kids. Yeah, definitely. He did seem like he did seem like he wanted to have somebody who would love his children more than anything. So if you are going to get with Joel, you need to know, listen, the kids come first, and I think that's always fair. But yeah, it was just a bit too much body for me. A bit too much body. There was just a bit too much body. That was my sentiment. I'll come to Stacy in a second. Okay. Is this Diedrich? What is it? Diedrich. What's his name? Ron. Okay, Ron. Okay. Ron. Someone said maybe he doesn't like shirts. Funny. Hold on. 2 seconds. 2 seconds, guys. Looks like I'm thingy. Yeah, Ron is interesting, and the reason why I found Ron interesting is because he talks a lot. He talks a lot, and he talks a good game, right? I don't want to spoil my review, so I'll kind of leave a little bit behind. I think Ron talks a lot. And I don't know if he's ready to love. Okay, yes, Patrice. I don't think he's ready to love. I think he's gonna run his mouth a lot. Right. There were some really key things I was watching from Ron. Let me get my notes up on this point, boy, because everyone's all over the place. Ron was doing some stuff which I was like, Ron, baby, I don't know if you're ready for it. I said, I don't know if he's ready for a relationship. Ron, let me get my Ron stuff up. I don't know if he's ready for relationships. I think he's here to play a little bit. I think he's here to mess around a little bit. I don't know if he's fully ready for that. Do you know what I mean? And I get that he's a business owner, sales director, and runs very several businesses. But he said he has a fear of divorce, and that for me is a big thing. When you got a fear of divorce, that's something that you need to work out. And I think that may play into how he's gonna play the relationships. I think he's gonna maybe he'll commit at the beginning, but he will definitely fall out at the end, because when you've got a fear of commitment, because that's what he's basically saying. He's not saying he's got a fear of well, I guess he's got a fear of divorce, and that for me speaks about the commitment side of things. Because if you're scared of divorce, you're going to be scared to get in it in the first place. If you're scared of divorce and the ending, you're going to be scared to get into a relationship in the first place. So I would love to hear his kind of relationship history. I wonder how his dating has gone in the past, and see how that kind of matches up. He also said as well that I also noticed as well the picture of him on holiday. Listen, these guys, producers, they put these things on purpose. His particular picture was him on holiday holding bottles. He's a party boy. Inside of him, there's a party boy. The party boy always comes out when you can't commit. When you're not a good committer, the party boy is always around, right? So I think they intentionally showed us that picture of him on the little beach and, with the bottles in hand and, doing a bit of party. I think he's going to be a little bit of a player, smooth talker. He's going to give the girls, a little bit of that sauce, but he ain't going to commit in the long run. I don't think he's going to commit in the long run. And as well, I hate people who say, yeah, I'm an alpha. I said, if you have to tell me you're an alpha, you ain't an alpha. An alpha doesn't tell you they're an alpha. If you are an alpha, we will know. The moment he said, I'm an alpha, and I say things direct, I said, sir, you are not an alpha. You are posing as an alpha. Yeah? Alphas don't tell you they're alphas. That's the whole point of being an alpha. You show it. So when you tell me you're an alpha and then you go, yeah, I'm direct. And it's not the first, but there's another guy who said it as well. Yeah, I'm an alpha, I'm direct. I said, why is everyone equating directness with the alpha? That doesn't make you an alpha, you being direct and saying something direct to somebody. I was like, no, you're not an alpha. You're posing as an alpha. You're a playboy and you're going to play and you're considering that being an alpha. That doesn't make you an alpha because you play the field. It's a characteristic. It's the way you move, and you don't have to say anything. But anyway, listen. Let me get my people on, man. Let me get my panel them on, man. Because I could talk all day. You know what I'm saying? But I wanna get my people on and get them involved with what's going on right now. You feel me? So let me get my people on. All right. Cool. Yes, Mackity, Mac. Let me do this first of all. Hold on. Okay. Yes, Mac. How you doing, Mac? You right, yeah?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, sis. I'm doing good. Let me get Lola on too. Lola. What's good, baby?
What's going on?
What's going on? What's good?
You know what? No, I'm not going to judge anything yet. It's still early. But see, the thing here is, first of all, let me start backwards. I'm not sure the benefit of bringing, Bright Suit Chris back on. Yeah, he did wrong by Naya. We all know this. He was done wrong, but what is he going to do differently? How is he going to attract people differently before? Because we did conclude that something was wrong with Naya. We got that. but he didn't have it all together as well. Maybe he's gotten his theme together since that time. I don't know. But the reason why some of us had an issue, I mean, what did they record like late last year? Is that when it happened? I can't remember.
Like when I was doing the interviews, that's when I think they were recording for it. So, boy, it was not that long ago.
Yeah, so then I don't know if he's ready. I don't know if he's ready for it yet. Because, he's a nice guy. Yeah, he's looking for something. But he also has to come with something to the table. He can't just come to the table and say, hey, I need a snack, feed me. And that was the vibes we were getting from him last time. He's a nice guy, but he also needs some work. So that's where I'm kind of looking at like, let's see. Yeah. And then, I mean, I'm looking at the cast, they look juicy. They look like they all have issues, which makes it interesting. And I like how all of them, I don't know if they've been watching people making all the comments of all of them always end their little story with, I'm ready to love. Yeah, that's let's wait and see that. So it's gonna, and like you said earlier, it's nice. They seem okay. So they're all around the same age. Most of them have children. Some of them have been married. But if you haven't learned the first time, what's to say you're going to learn this time?
Some people on the third.
Yeah, homie on his third life. And what was he hasn't looked at himself. He said something about, he was just with the wrong people.
Yes, he said, yeah.
Bruh, at this stage of the game, like, you had a part to play in those two breakdowns. They may have been the wrong people, but you walked into it with your eyes closed both times. Yeah. So he's already he's a red flag waiting to happen. But we don't know these characters, so we're just judging them based on first looks. And like some of those ones with like the little story reel with their muscles out, Troy's a little too old to have his pecs out like that.
It's not Didi.
Max, what's up? So like, that's it. So I'm looking at it and I'm just like, this is going it's going to be a show for a lot of fodder to see, because I don't want to judge. Like, you know what I think before we start going to each other, but some of the two females that both they say they were single for 17 years, but what does single entail? Yeah. Does that mean I've just been, having like, what's the word you want to use? Like, friends, situationships, but just 17 years, nothing? They're both attractive females. So I don't know what that means. So those are red flags for me until we're able to tease it out. But single for 17 years, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but two women were single for 17 years.
Yeah. Well, they're both very attractive, and when they both kind of paused when they said how long you've been single, I'm like, one said 2004. Do the math. That's 17.
Yeah,
another
that's 17.
One. It was the other one who's the CEO, the one who's 40. I can't remember her name. Very beautiful woman.
Lisa.
Yeah, is that her name? Like, I'm got notes of all these people. We don't know them yet.
Yeah, I know. Let me go. Liz, the
40-year-old who's the CEO of her. Very attractive woman. 17 years is a long time, sis. And I think her last relationship was someone who was a childhood. Yeah, that's I think
that's both people. That's both women.
So they're both women. Are they both coming in burned? They're gonna be issues for us. Are we gonna have to break them down? Do they have a therapist on the show this time?
I don't think they have a therapist this time. I don't think they have a therapist. It would be good to. But yeah, there's two women that had their 17 and they both had childhood sweethearts. And from there, they haven't necessarily had a proper relationship since then. Yeah.
Those are red flags for me. They might be lovely ladies, but why haven't they been with someone all this time? That's the concern. Yeah, we know who the troublemakers are with the boys. Troy is too old to be talking about what he was talking about here. Yeah, and then who's the one who was really like he's a catch, Mr. I'm 38 years old. What was his name? What's his name? Some TJ OJ. Let me know. Like, I've got all these names. Yeah,
AJ, the producer.
The music producer. He looked like a problem to me. Like, he feels like he's all that. So he's part of the beard gang. Big deal. So what? Like, he's not, to me, he's aight. But that's just Lola's opinion. Matt, you feeling anybody? Because I was just looking like, okay, let's see how they play out.
I think you started with red flags. I think for me, the female that was a red flag is the first flight attendant. What was her name?
Let me go to for you. Chrysanthemum.
Yes. Yeah.
Go on. You're going to say what I'm saying. Go on for it, Max. Yeah.
But the whole thing for me was confusing because she spent the whole time talking about why men were the problem. Yeah. It was like, men are intimidated by the fact that flight attendant. They don't keep in touch. The phone works. Does the phone work? I'm thinking, whoa, like, hold on a sec. You're on a dating show. Like, this is supposed to be a new chapter. Like, is this really the foot you want to put forward? And then when the producer asked about how do you deal with competition, and then she gave an answer that was also kind of like, the whole thing did not show her in a nice light at all. So I was just thinking, I don't know. It was just, the whole thing was off for me from her. What were you thinking on her though?
I put down red flag for men intimidated by her flight attendant. It's funny because two women actually said the exact same thing as well. I'm a flight attendant, men are intimidated by that. So I was like, maybe there's some truth to it, and I don't know. So I gave them a little bit of thing. But when she said it, I said the way she said it, and then she, I was like, and then she said, obviously, I'm gone for 6 days, and I was like, darling, so what do you? I mean, who wants to date somebody who's gone for 6 days in the out of 7 days a week? I mean, that's not a them problem. That's a you problem. You are out of the. You are saying you're out of the the house or wherever you are 6 days out of 7. Like, sis, at this point, you might want to look at the fact that maybe it might not be the men as such, right? So, and I think they purposely asked her a question around how do you deal with competition with women. So I said, okay, she's probably going to have a problem with women in this thing. She said, I'm cool with them, but I said if they ask that question.
But remember, she said,
but they asked her. Yeah, she was a bit different. I was like, but they asked her. They showed us that question for a reason.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, maybe she's gonna have problems with that. And then she obviously ended it by saying she wants a provider. And I was asking myself, what does that mean? I always ask that question. What does a provider mean? Because we had a KJ and Naya situation previously. I want to know what you mean by provider. I think I know what you mean, but I also want to know what she is.
She wants some dinero.
Maybe potentially.
Yeah, like, because she don't want to fly out 6 days a week anymore. She wants to relax. And what, she like 37, 38, she wants to start having children. So it's a similar Naya situation going on. So once you go up front and you know what's going on, and she wants dinero. Like, and she made a good point though. She says, we can be friends, but I want us going for the same man. I understand that. Let's not do another Sister Wives episode, this Sister Wives season this time. That makes sense, because it's like, that's how true is relationship if you're going for you're shooting for the same dude. But yeah, she looked like, I wonder what she'll come. Like, she looks a little spicy. Yeah, but I don't know how mature she is, though.
Didi, what are you saying for Chrysanthemum? What a
Didi thinks he likes her. He looking up to the left. That means he likes her.
No, she's cute, but she has a lot of red flags, because sometimes they say a pretty face and a bad character. I think that's why she cannot keep a man, or she don't have a man in her life. That, like, when you see the pretty like that, you just have to be careful with them. I'm not judging all pretty women, but her energy and the way she comes off, she looks like she have a pretty face and a bad character. I like Tressa, the comedian. Oh, I like
she's
her.
Funny.
Like, yeah, she's funny. She said, when she said about the homosexual.
Yes.
I didn't know what that meant. And then when she explained it, I was like, okay, well, it seems like she's probably been having a lot of the wrong type of men in her life, but let's just hope she finds love. And I think she's very serious about finding love on the show. Some of the people on the show, that producer, Derek Jackson. That's how I can see that producer.
Yeah.
He's in that kind of lifestyle, and he's like, women like to touch his bald head. He's about that life, and I think that's just my opinion. I mean, that's the first time I'm seeing him, but he comes off as somebody that just on that show just to have fun. I don't think he's serious.
Yeah. He's out to get some notoriety or some exposure, I think, because he's a music producer. Maybe he wants to be an artist this time. Maybe he wants to be on the other side of the mic. Yeah, he don't look serious.
Yeah, I don't get no good vibes from him. Okay. But that's my first time watching it. And that is very, very interesting. I must say, it's very interesting, and I will be following the rest of the season to see how it ends up. But the single people that come on, they're very interesting.
Max, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say before with Chris, she said she was a social butterfly, and she was like, I don't have to go out, but I like to go out. And the way she said it just sounded like she sounds very confrontational, but for no need, like for no reason, because it wasn't an issue, but she made it sound like it was an issue, and like she was ready to defend herself, but it was just a point she made. So I was confused as to who are you fighting? You're speaking. You're the only one speaking. I just feel like potentially she is maybe just a bit confrontational. That was just the energy that she seemed to give off. And I feel like when you're in a dating scene, especially with competition, it gave me low-key Denise vibes, where it's like, okay, a bit territorial, a bit like, if I found my man, he's my man, he's my man, by the way, he's my man. It's like, okay, you're on a dating show and everybody's getting to know everyone. So even when she was like, oh, I don't want someone to go for the same guy as me, what are you expecting? It's Ready to Love. That's exactly what happens. That's what always happens. That's what's going to happen. So it just felt like, are you really sure you picked the right space to be in? Because I don't think this space complements you well.
Good point. Good point on that. Good point on that.
That's why I doubt with these coming seasons. Like when you think of who was the lovely lady who has 3 children? Was it Venetia or something?
Venetia,
full-figured.
Yeah.
She seems like a lovely woman. Lovely woman, together, good storyline. But sis, if you really think you're gonna meet your husband, like if you look at
she said ready to find a husband.
I was like, the past thing, like
it's ready to love, it's not ready to be married, girl.
A woman can dream, but I think you have to also be realistic. She doesn't seem entirely realistic to me. That's a concern. Because you can't tell me you haven't seen these past seasons. The last one was a complete mess. So if you're coming there expecting, it's a good thing to put out that positivity into the atmosphere, but don't overdo it. Like when I heard that, I'm like, sis, you're a little too old to be unrealistic like this. I don't want her to raise her hopes and get smashed down to the ground. I don't want her to come up with any kind of, desperate energy or just like, because I think she should just have her mind open and see what happens. Because I'm looking at the guys and there aren't that many, in my personal opinion. I won't say they're not serious. What's his name? Who was the first one that came on? He seemed okay. Joel he seems okay. He's a little country. He's a little country. He did have that muscle thing going on. Like when they've got their chest out. Yeah, that's a concern.
The guy, Joel looks. Honestly, I think Joel might be serious. I think he might be serious because he has his kids.
Yeah, he seems
and
okay.
Kids change people.
Yeah, he's the one that his wife died from cancer.
Yeah, and he has the twins.
Yeah. So when you've been through
Kojo
something,
keep on saying he don't like to wear a shirt.
Well, he doesn't. For me. If I'm looking at someone, if you've got your pecs out all the time,
every time you have pecs out.
Yeah. When they had those sets, the guys who had sets where they were working out and you could see that, like, what are you trying to sell that? Should
That's
that be
point.
should you lead with that foot? But the other part of his story seemed, I was okay with it, but that really the pecs out. And if you've been through something, you probably have some depth to you. He sounds a little country, like he has that New Orleans kind of twang. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, so let's wait and see. I'm not going to judge him. I'm just going to watch him with one eye like this. Like, okay, so let's see what's going on. Who else? Okay, there was somebody else I was impressed with. The other teacher, not the young teacher, because that one I'm not sure what he does on the side.
That's Jason, the young teacher, but Khalil.
He near Khalil. That's like, okay, he was passionate about what he does as a teacher. That's admirable, and I can respect that. So let's see with him. I don't know if he had any red flags.
Although he had remember he's the one who had the car accident, by the way.
He attracts the wrong women.
Yeah, but he had a come to Jesus moment. He saw the white sky and the lights coming, and he didn't have to go. So sometimes when people have those moments, they become realistic. I don't know, but like you said, he attracts a certain type of nasty, mean,
hearted woman, hearted savage woman.
Ooh.
So, wow.
Ooh, I know, because you really do attract something, and it's you that's doing that. It's not them. So that's a concern. So, but I wasn't too. Honestly, am I impressed with these guys? These Jason, the other teacher. First of all, sir, like, I don't know what kind of teaching he does, but he's standing next to a plane. Does he come from money? He's standing next to some expensive red automobile with some shiny, expensive-looking shoes. I just kind of judging him because, like, he just,
Lola.
You can say it because that's what I was thinking. The exact same thing when he was talking. I said to myself,
Yeah, what he do?
But Kojo and Lula, you heard when he said his girlfriend, they were talking about it in the group chat, and then she was cheating, and he told her like you cheated, and she's like so,
and then there's something there. Like there's something there. Like so, he's coming with some scars because she just said so, and that was it.
Yeah,
cheated on before the day of proposal.
Right before, because she clearly she didn't want it because usually you can feel it coming. So why would you mess it up? So she wasn't interested.
And he found out in a group chat, which is really, really painful.
Painful.
Max, what do you think? What do you think, Jason?
But with Jason, I feel like it's poor judgment because that wasn't the only story. His other story was about the girl who he went on a date with, and then she said, "I want a sugar daddy." And then, I mean, that sounded a bit theatrical, honestly. And then the older lady behind him said, "No, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it." Yeah.
Did anyone else think that story was just
I thought that was sugar daddy.
Tyler Perry. Like, when did that happen? It was a bit odd. But that aside, just the whole thing between that and the girlfriend, I was like, okay, so you attract these kind of women. Apparently, that's kind of what you're putting forward, saying you attract these kind of women. But the truth is, you were about to propose and you took her out on a date. So really, for me, is bad judgment. Now, if you're going to come onto a show with multiple women and you have bad judgment, that's now sounding like quite a bad setup. So I don't really know. But she seems nice. And I don't know why you guys are saying you know where he gets his money from. He has the initiative, right? The 8-year initiative, helping something. I am. Still, I thought that was nice. That was sweet. But it's the judge.
And he played ball as well. He played ball as well in the past.
So there we go.
Okay, so maybe that's where that cheddar's from then, because he was selling something else. Like, he's a teacher, but he's selling something else. So I was like, I know drug dealer won't come on the show. So what are you like? Do you do stocks and bonds? Like, I don't know. I'm just like judging him. Like, what's going on? Like, this. He seems. You see, and that's what they do. They sell one image so they can surprise us on the end. So it's like he seems sweet. You know, when you hear a teacher, like, oh, how sweet, how kind. Oh, he got cheated on him by his girlfriend. Oh, but he might come out the gate like a different way. So I'll
just be honest. Obviously, he just gave a lot of. The way he spoke was a little bit feminine for me, and there was just a little section where he was like, "The I am," and then I was like, "Ooh," I was like, "Listen, when you're in a competition, this is going to be a part and play. If that's how you present yourself, that immediately is going to be a judgment that people are going to be making." Because I'm looking at him like, I was like, wait. Because he wasn't talking like that at first, and as soon as they showed that clip where he was wearing a little grey t-shirt, and he was like, "Yeah, I did that," and I was like, I said, "Sir, I wonder how the ladies are going to take that on, because we'll see how that plays in competition."
He comes off as too much of a nice guy for me. That's how I see
it. He comes off like a nice guy.
Too nice.
But I
think that's why he ended up in a situation where the girl just told him, the girl, her response was like, "So, like, he looked like those guys that probably spend time with you or make sure you like that sugar daddy situation. Like, he would do anything to get, keep you happy. But then at the same time, you have to be very careful how you go about doing that, because some people are there to abuse you and use you. Yeah. And then when they finish, they're done with you. And that's exactly what happened to him. But I think he comes off as too much of a nice guy. Oh, yes, man.
He's gonna listen. Basically, what's gonna happen? He's got two options. Either you're gonna become the sacrificial lamb, or you're gonna blow out. It's not looking good for him. Yeah, he's gonna either blow out and do something mad, or he's gonna be the sacrificial lamb. Some girl's gonna use him on the show, because you told, like Max said, he told us two very heavy sob stories where girls used him, and that speaks a lot about how you even view yourself. Because if that's the story you want to bring, you couldn't bring a successful one. Couldn't bring the fact that I had a relationship 2 years ago, it didn't work out because I realized that I had greater things about myself. No, you didn't. He brought a story where he got destroyed, not broken, destroyed. You understand? That speaks to me that I am a sad case. We're gonna be real.
The producers brought it up though. Think about that. The producers sold that to us. There might have been a whole reel, so he might not just have that, but that's a selling point. Like, yo,
they always sell us. They always
going to be the weak thing of the group, and he may not, but he might.
That's what I'm saying. Either he's going to be sacrificial lamb, or he's going to blow out.
He's going to come out with his guns
raging.
Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Who,
so he's going somewhere.
Yeah. Who's your father?
Daddy.
So yeah. I want to see.
I guess obviously another person who was interesting for me was Alexis Fly Jones. I loved her look. I loved her look, and she pulled off the green very, very well. But
go ahead with but. Let me hear that.
Yeah.
I'm listening. Is that the pastor's wife? Alexis.
I was a little bit scared. I was like, there's always a fine line between confidence and arrogance, and I was just saying, she was teetering. I'm not gonna say she was over it. She was teetering, and I was like, I have to see her a bit more in the show and see what happens. But slightly teetering, and I was like, we'll see what happens on the show. But other than that, I mean, yeah, she already had a husband that was a pastor. That didn't work out because the husband was getting. I mean, what pastor's taking these calls at 2:00 in the morning? What's he doing?
No, I think no. Hold on. Let's. You know what? That can happen sometimes.
No, they shouldn't be happening.
No, sometimes. So you have a church member who's. and I don't know if it happens regularly. If you have a church member who's in the hospital or something, that could happen. Is she selling us like exaggerating a slight, maybe a tad bit? Yeah, and then between the two of them, what kind of agreement had they come to, both as the pastor and the pastor's wife? What boundaries have they drawn? Like, so it's not just him. Like, she needs to put herself in that responsibility too. Like, yeah, like coming as a calling. I want to open my eyes and just
not at 2 o'clock. It's not.
I'm just going to be a pastor's wife. Like, come on, like, that's a job.
Not at 2 o'clock. You have to have boundaries.
What made you think exactly? So what happened there? Why hadn't they created boundaries? Why?
I don't know why.
But what led them to actually divorce? Could she have had could it happen once and she could have sat down with him and say, "Sir, this is not how it's going to happen. This is what we're going to do." Da, 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 da. So where did the breakdown happen that they had to decide to separate? So there's some more meat to that story. Because I'm sure both as a first lady and as a pastor, they probably didn't want to necessarily just at the first sign of trouble suddenly go for a divorce. So there must have been there's more there. And you know, I don't want to judge, because it's hard to really judge these personalities on a first viewing of like 2-3 minutes. But it's like she seems a little bit like she doesn't seem. I know she's young, but there should be like Max. You seem grounded. You seem smart. You're like this. You're like that. Like it's like she doesn't see. She seemed more concerned with appearance. Like she calls herself, what she go fly some? What was she calls her? Fly Jones, Fly Girl, whatever her name was. Like,
Alexis
why?
Fly.
Thank you. Like, why you
Fly
leading?
Jones.
Why are you leading with that? Like,
yes, I said teetering.
Like, so she's a little superficial. So there's more to what she's telling, and we may get the beef of the story, we may not. But she seems a little superficial. So there must have been a whole bunch of things that led to the divorce.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's like I think for anyone who goes to church and as a female, if you're going to be a pastor's wife, man, you're going to kneel down and pray about this. Is this my calling too? Because now you're hooking into his mission. This is because when you're submitting to that mission, it's like, how much so it's like
there's two types of pastor's wife though, in it out there. Because when I say pastor's wife, there's two types of pastors out there. There are pastors who are there for the scene, and there are pastors who are there for the calling. So maybe if you thought that your husband was there for the scene, when you got there, the glitz and the glamour really wasn't fitting what you really wanted. You understand? Because like that like you said, you'd have prayed about that before you got into that. You know what I mean,
being first lady is not a joke.
It's not.
Leading right now, it's like church ladies are judgmental anyway, and then let the lead them. Like, I'm not going to put would I willingly go? I wouldn't willingly sign up for that. I'd have to talk to the Holy Spirit. Would have to minister to me for a long time before I accept that post. So so it seems she took it a little too light, but it's left to be seen. I can't judge on the first thing, but she seems a tad bit superficial, and we'll just leave it at that. Maybe she might change our minds, but so Mrs. I know you like Fly Jones. I wasn't really impressed with her that much.
Go for it, Max. I mean, she was cute, but go for it, Max.
For me, there was a running theme of a lack of accountability throughout the whole episode, and for me, she was one of the people that I was like, there's not much accountability here. She was like, oh, all the pastors' wives in this area say the same thing. The pastors are married to the church. They're not married. And I was thinking, okay, I hear that. Fair enough. And then she gives us a story to back what she's saying, that, he's getting calls in the night. Okay, fair enough. As she goes on, she says, oh, I seem to have SEX on my forehead.
Yep. I was gonna say.
All the guys that practice me out. I said, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's happened?
Yeah. Just that quick.
1 second you were first lady who's neglected. Now you're you've got sex on your forehead. What's going on here? That's a complete switch. And she kind of glossed over it, like, oh yeah, I've got SEX on my forehead, and no one takes me seriously. And I'm like, hold on a second. This is not fitting with the neglected first lady, no one pays me attention vibe. Or after your divorce, did you switch it up to get the attention? But like Bella's saying, there's massive bits missing from her story, and I feel like she told a story to get our support, but ultimately we're going to see how it plays out. Obviously she does have a son as well, and she spoke highly of him. She said, he's the head of our home, and I asked him if he's all right with me to go out, and he said he's not ready yet. I don't know. I just found some of the stuff that they chose to lead with quite like odd, honestly. But obviously you'll mention your child and you'll mention the good relationship you have. Calling your son the head of your home.
That's too much. I had an issue with that. Why are you putting that on his head?
I felt a type of way. I just felt a type of way. There was just a few things she said. That was like, I'm not sure, sis. But okay.
Yeah. I was impressed.
I was thinking back of what Mark said, because when she said guys think she has the SEX on her forehead, I started pondering where does she hang out? Like, where does she go? Because if you with you married to a pastor, you must be married to a pastor, but you're hanging out all the wrong places. Because for me, that would probably be a nightclub or some place that just men just go hitting on women, and it does happen. But then I think she probably like that kind of party person. Probably she didn't know what she signed up for when she got married. That's how I see it. So she didn't know what she signed up for. Like Lola said, like if you have to marry the pastor, like let's say that's his calling, you have to make sure you know what you signed up for, because both of you guys have to be committed to your marriage and committed to his mission, because that's why you have to find out what it is about before. But I guess they didn't discuss it. She must have thought it would have been something different, like Kojo said. And then it just had me thinking, what does she do? Like, where does she hang out? Where does she spend her time? I think she hung out all the wrong places. But that show might be a good fit for her, because maybe the type of guy she's looking for, she'll probably get that guy, because it's definitely not a pastor.
I hear that. I don't think she'll do pastors anymore anyway. I think she's done with pastors now. So.
Nah, she's left that alone. She's left that alone.
And also, again, and that's okay. So that's where I think that's where I was saying about there's pastors that are for the calling, and there's pastors for the show, because I didn't hear her say, "I need a man that is also for Christ Jesus." See that always rings alarm bells in my head. That a lot of people who are saying that they want to be pastor's wife or even a pastor, all of things, they're not talking about Jesus. They're talking about the role. It's a job, and that's always my concerning thing, because that it's not a job. Like, it's not a job, it's a calling. So it's like, if you are going to be a wife or a husband, and you're going to be going into to being a pastor, you know, I want to be hearing that, okay, because I think Liz was the only one that mentioned, okay, look, I want a man that's spiritual, said, look, I need him to be, you know, really having his thing with God. But anybody else, I didn't hear it. So when Alexis is saying, obviously, her husband was for you know, as a pastor, I'm like, I'm expecting you to hear, I need a man who's also for God. And I'm like, I didn't hear none of that. So I don't know if they cut it out, maybe, but yeah, I didn't hear that part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would judge up front, but didn't get it though. That could be why she didn't get it, because that could be why she's like, why is he getting calls? And I understand the calls late. I get it. But when you're committed to the mission, when you feel like this is your mission and it's on your heart, and you've married the man of God because you're the woman of God, you understand it. You have more grace for it. So if you know she married him for the scene, then it's like, rah, he's getting calls. Oh, he has to go and preach. Oh, he's gone.
He has to go see someone in the hospital.
That is what it was for. Yeah, exactly. Because the truth is, yes, it's mad getting calls really, really late, but there is likely a good story behind it. So if that story and that need doesn't touch your heart, are you sure you were called there? Because why is it you had space for the grace and you don't? So that for me is awkward, because if you're now coming into oneness, but you're still two, how's it going to work?
Right. No. Point. Exactly. Yeah. She wasn't called for that. I'm just judging her, but I'm not with it.
That's a good point. There was Stacy. Stacy was the one that was married to an ex-professional basketball player.
Oh, yeah, the quintessential pretty girl who marries a baller, and he cheats on her, and she takes it for the longest time, and then finally says she's done with it, or maybe he said he was done with her. I don't know what the story is, but
later. That was you done with her already, yeah?
I mean, she's a beautiful woman, and she has children. You know what I didn't like? The one thing because it's just the same old story. You marry a baller, and then finally you decide to be tired of it, or he's tired of you, or he's doing too much, or he's disrespecting you. But the thing that stood out to me was she was talking about her son, Cameron, who's 19, and she talked about he didn't go to college because he.
I was like.
You mean there are no local colleges you can go to? So you're happy that your son doesn't want an education. Not that you can't afford it, because clearly the father was a baller. So that's an issue for me. Like, sis.
That boy, I was scared for the boy. That's what I was scared for. I was scared for him. Because I thought her role should have been to say, listen, you do not stay at home.
School.
You go to school.
Go to school, even if it's local. There are lots of colleges in Houston. What is she talking about? This story doesn't make sense. Something is missing. Doesn't make sense. Like, how are you as a mother in the 20, I don't know what they start recording, 2021, and your son, you see how they're killing people off the street. He doesn't have any qualifications right now. You didn't say anything about, he's taking a year off. No, he said he doesn't want to go. And you like, what do you do? Well, you're an insurance broker. Like, is that going to be his future? Like, come on. I don't know. There's something there that doesn't make sense.
She's made him her husband. That's the problem.
That's the problem. That was the problem I had with it. When the bell rang, like, what? He said he wants to, what? If he says that, you should beg him not to. Get his father involved, get family that no, he has his life to lead. He's 19. So he's going to be a mama's boy. He's going to be useless for any other woman who comes into his life.
If that's my fear.
If that's the story. We don't know. We're just going with just the snippets. Like
that's my fear.
I always like to, put the qualifier out there, disqualified. I'm just going with the snippets, but that was the one thing that seemed like, okay, consensual breed form. Okay, yeah. Well, you let your son stay at home? That's a problem. That's a problem. You're meant to make sure that he makes the right decisions for himself, not for you. Where's the boy's father? How is the boy's father allowing this to happen? I guess he's not allowed to see his son anymore. I don't know.
I don't know. Max, what are you saying then, Didi?
I mean, she said she was married for 10 years. And if I understood correctly, her husband was working abroad. So I can understand that potentially maybe there was a level of neglect, or because it seems like she said she realized she was making too many concessions and then she realized she wasn't happy. So for me, what it kind of made me think in my mind is potentially her son began to step in as more of emotional support. So it was more natural when the divorce happened for him to say, I'll stay back, because he's already halfway there in that position of supporting her. Because she said something like, he was going to go to college, but then he saw, the rest of us, and he thought that, he should stay back and support us. And I'm thinking that means he's used to that. He's used to rising to the moment and being that support system. It wasn't just a random thought that came to him. I think she's maybe allowed herself to put a bit of weight on him, and he's taken that weight. And maybe he might just feel sorry for his mum. Like, I want my mum to be happy. I want her to be well supported. I see her upset. That takes a toll. Seeing your parent crushed, seeing your parent broken, or go through stuff. So I can imagine him wanting to step up. But I'm with you guys in terms of her now being within the mother role of saying, okay, I'm your mum, you're not my man, and I support you as much as you support me, and that's why you need to go. Because you're going to have your own life, you're going to have your own future, and I can't hold you back for myself, however much I appreciate that support. Because I think that it's not healthy for him. Yeah. And I don't want it to now convert to resentment at some point when he sees people his age now graduating, getting jobs, getting cars, moving forward, whereas he still living at home working for his mum.
Yeah, I have a problem with that. If she really, I don't want to say if she really, but true love is sacrifice. Why did she allow him to say I'm staying? Yeah, that's the problem I have with it. So your perfect sense, he's probably feel, but this is the key moment. This is where she should have put her foot down and said no, go. Yeah.
But I also think the son he realized what's going on, because that's why she said they're trying to get her to get this off TikTok. I was like, because they realized like she's probably too much into her son. She's putting too much responsibility on him, and then they feel that she just needs to start dating and meet someone where she can take that weight off him, where he can probably go back to his normal life or probably go to college or something. But if the people around you trying to get you to start dating and they're so desperate as to make you meet someone on TikTok, which I think is a bad idea, that means they're seeing something that is just definitely wrong in that household. Yeah.
So there's more there. There's more there to bite. There's more. There's more. We don't know everything. Yeah.
There's more.
One of the guys I had a problem with, I think I forgot to mention him, Diedrich the chef. In the past, I've had a liking to chefs. But this particular chef, isn't he the one that's been married? He's got two. No, he's got not married. He's got two children.
Daughters, and he wants a son.
Yeah, and he wants a son.
It's not that he just wants a child. He wants a son. That's problematic in itself.
Do we look? He's the one donating the exes. Like you're the one that made those two girls. Like so someone who is very like, it's good to be clear. But a woman's not a machine. She's not a baby-making machine. And she's not a boy-producing machine. That's a problem. You meet someone, you like them, and she has another girl, there's going to be an issue there. This makes me think of the cultural situations all again. Like he wants a boy. So he didn't say, I want to marry, I want a great relationship, I want a boy. Okay, why don't you get a surrogate, sir? And skip the whole steps and not put someone through that. That way you can guarantee that you're going to get a boy. So that was the issue I had with him. He's 47. I mean, there should be some maturity. I'm not saying he should be satisfied and say, I've got a girl, good. But there should be some, I don't know, like that just seemed to be his theme. Or maybe that's how it was produced and edited to put that way. So maybe they're putting everybody in the roles they've created again. I don't know if it's the same production company, but that wasn't a great thing. Like if you see that, sis, like you see that and he says what he says, run. Because he's looking for a baby making machine, and not just a baby. He wants a boy making machine. And sis, that's not up to you. He's the one donating the X or the Y. It's up to him. He determines the sex. So yeah, that was when I saw that. Just made me think of all these cultural situations playing all over again. Like it was their fault that he had girls. No, sir, you did that, and he's coming to. Some just don't. They just don't throw those wives out there. He might not be. He might be one of them. I don't know. He might be wasting his wives. I don't know, but he's an issue. He's going to be an issue because he's not looking for. I didn't get it from that skit that he's looking for someone, that one real love, that one real partner, that one da-da-da-da-da. I just got he's looking for a son. Once he gets his son, he's done. If he doesn't get his son, he's moving on. He might change my mind. But yeah, that I don't know. What did anybody else think? I didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, building on that, I think he was the one that said the women are money-driven, not care-driven. And I was thinking, when you have that statement mixed with that I want a son, it sounds like your needs are just your priority. That's it. You're coming to the table, you're bringing everything that you require. And once you get what you need, you check out. I remember someone saying about marriage, that if you come with a really specific need, once that need is met, you check out. If you're coming into marriage because you want a chef, once you're getting the food, you're good. If you're coming into marriage because you want a child, once you get the child, you're good. And for me, it almost seems so one-track minded that he wants care, he wants a son. What are you actually bringing? What are you actually giving? Like, if you're coming into a situation where you're saying you're ready to love, okay, love requires a lot of giving. So other than what you're going to receive from this process, I haven't heard what you're going to give. And that, for me, that's problematic.
Yeah.
So that was,
I just think like his job, he's gonna get chopped. I don't think he will last on that show, because he's like Lola said, he's coming with that energy that he wants a son, and like you said, Max, like the money, like he's just coming with too much expectations, and the women on the show, I have about a good bit of them have kids already, so I don't. He might probably have to go for one of those that probably younger, and maybe he might get what he wants. But if you have to go for the older ones at that age, I don't think those women will want to have. They already have like 3 or 4 kids. I don't think they want to add another child.
No.
And at
they're
their
just
age,
looking for a life partner.
Yeah, and at their age, they want to live their life. So I don't think they want to be stuck with a baby and stuff like that. So I think he'll be one of those that might not last on the show.
I hope he doesn't. He doesn't appear to have much to offer. I'm judging him already. Forgive me.
No, but I mean, to be honest, obviously, what is he, 47?
Yes, 47.
There's just an overemphasis on having a son or having a child in general. It reminds me of Mike from season 1, season 2. He did the exact same thing with Shay. He did the exact same thing. He wanted a kid, and the overemphasis. And I can never forgive him for that, because it's like you overemphasize wanting a kid, wanting a kid, and it's like we haven't even begun to even get to really know each other.
She wasn't even there either. She was like, "I've had one. I've suffered through this. I don't want that."
So it's true. Like, we need to, you have to take into account. So dating, you're starting to date. So can we get the dating underway first before we, get to that stage where we're talking about kids? If the person wants to, fantastic. But for me, that was immediate, like, red flag. Yeah, you could be going home early, sir, if you don't fix that up.
I'm gonna have to talk with the sisters, but it's
even really last season they weren't like that. Even last season, most people didn't want to. No, it's not. Last season they weren't talking about kids and having kids. I think everybody had their kids. And that was it. They were done. But this is season. Like, my man's coming through and he wants to have kids. It's like, yo, bro.
He wants a boy, not just kid. He wants a boy.
He probably end up with someone like Amber. Someone a little bit more naive, because like I said, in order to get what he wants, he's gonna have to get someone who's gonna be a little bit more
naive.
Who's
the 31-year-old attorney?
Fresh.
Is
Amber.
that Amber? Okay, yeah.
Amber, yeah.
She's needed,
that's the only way he's gonna get it. Yeah.
So that might be
the next person is Andrea, 38, flight attendant. She doesn't get hit on.
She's the one with the red flag. Remember, she's the 17-year.
She's the other one. Yeah, she's the other 17.
Talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't dated since 2004.
All right, sis. Okay, big deal. Okay, whoopee. Yeah. What? Like, give me more. They didn't give us some meat with this lady. I don't know if there's something.
Yeah, they didn't give. Yeah, I didn't have many notes either.
Meat. I just know that she hasn't been. She says. Maybe it's been situationships they don't want to talk about. She hasn't dated in 17 years. Is Houston like? I know Houston is flatland. Are they saying Houston's a desert now? Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't know anywhere that's worse than Atlanta, and that's saying from someone who lived there. So I don't know what they're saying about Houston. 'Cause 17 years is a long time, sis. But hey, I wish you the best. But otherwise, I don't have anything for her. Yeah, she's also she wants kids, right? She was talking about she wanted kids. Something about her clock.
Yeah, her fertility clock. She said.
Yeah, she's 38.
Yeah.
So she wasting a year on this show. Okay, sis, I wish you the best.
She got long legs. Yes, Max.
Like you said, they weren't really given too much on her. One thing I would say is potentially confidence. She seems to lack it a little bit. If you've been single for 17 years, this moment's not going to change that. That's a fact. You need to come forward and with your chest to be like, yeah, I have. But, you know, from those 17 years, I've been able to gain. And now I'm ready to, you know, there wasn't really any energy behind, oh, that's fine that I've had those 17 years, but I'm in this space now, ready to kind of, it was just like, okay, I've been single for 17 years and my clock. And so I'm here. And it was like, right, okay. But from those 17 years, which is a very long time, what have you gained? What have you learned? How have you grown? Like, that would be a better thing to lead with than, oh, it's been since 2004, you work it out. Like, no, you've just wasted time there. Like, tell us something of substance so we're able to know it doesn't matter that she has 17 years of singleness. She's ready, because that's what we're here for. We're here for people who are ready. So what your past isn't relevant. There are all sorts of past on this show. Like, does she not get it? Everybody has a past. Right. That's not the problem. What we're looking at now is your present, is your future. So if you have
Did we lose her?
Did we lose her?
Yeah. Hello, Max. Max. Oh, she's back. Yeah? She's back. We lost you for that last second. Yeah.
Well, I actually think she's gonna meet the chef. I think she and the chef would make a good match, the two of them. Because she said she's running out of time.
She wants to have a kid quick.
Right, and he wants a son. So there's not much to say about her. And for me, she said guys don't hit on her. Guys don't hit on you. Like, there's probably something about her that she's doing that she probably not realize she's doing.
Maybe she doesn't see she's putting something off and she doesn't know what she's doing.
She's not realizing she did.
Yeah. Because she's attractive, if I remember. Yeah, she was attractive. Yeah, Kojo noticed her long legs, right? Right, Kojo?
Oh, legs are long. Yeah,
you said something about long legs, like right
long legs. Yeah, long legs, man. She's got long legs. So, but yeah, like you said, maybe she'll meet the chef, and maybe that will be
I think
but we thought the same thing with Nia and KG. So
yeah,
they both were looking for that same thing, and it didn't work out the same way. So, you know, that's how it starts.
I do have a new bachelor that we didn't talk about. That I forgot to talk about. Kojo, this your fresh fade. Like, you're not playing, huh? I forgot to talk about you up front. Like
I'm married to where the money resides.
I don't know if you all remember, he would have his hoodie on or he'd have a hat. Now he's got a fresh fade. He's giving you side angles, giving you front. He's doing this. Like, hey, what?
Leila, didn't you hear it in the money resides? Where the money resides.
Where the money resides, sir.
If you forget to snap, Kojo.
Where the money resides.
He's not going to throw his hips out like that. But yeah, I don't know if you all know, if you're following him, Little Black Bloke on IG, like, he's been throwing up shots of different fades like this, black and white, colored. Hey, who, what, her, smart. So yeah, I forgot. I wanted to make fun of you, but give him some angles. Like, maybe you might be on the next season, sir.
It might be, still where the money resides, baby.
Yeah, lady, he's got the money in his pockets now. He's ready.
I'm feeling good. Anointed plus the finances. We're good. The next person we're talking about is Liz, the CEO production company woman.
Yes.
She was interesting. She was single for 17 years.
Very attractive.
Very attractive. I was,
woman.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. My initial thought was, I wonder how assertive she is. Because there may be an over assertion. Being a CEO, you know what I'm saying? Like she said, she's very focused on her career at the time. Maybe her eyes just wasn't open to that kind of thing. And, you know, sometimes time can just go. You know, you be so focused on your career, time can go. And then you get into a pattern of really not really looking for it, and then you're like, you know, you're in a space where you're like, okay, I can't. It's hard to get into the space of trying to date, and time just keeps on going. So I don't know. I was a little bit like, okay, cool, but I love the fact that she wanted a man that was really after God's heart. So I said, okay, cool. You know, I'll rock with that, Liz. But yeah, she had a very good. I thought she had really good energy. Like, do you know what I mean? But
no, she does. So that's what it's like. I'm like, I love the picture, how she looked, how she carried herself, how she spoke. She's about her business. Okay, so what's wrong? What happened? There's something there. Yeah, but for 17 years?
Yeah, some people haven't recovered.
Okay, so maybe, I don't know, did she get the healing before she came on the show? Or she's just going to use this to hurt herself even more and then continue the hurt. That's the thing. But I really like what I saw up front. If I was a man, I would definitely have her on my short list. because she seems to be smart. She's definitely attractive. She seems to have a good, personality. She's not full of herself. She seems to have a nice balance. Yeah, I don't know what the guys think, but yeah, I liked what I saw. So I'm wondering what the problem is, like why she needs to come on this show, because the show doesn't have a great success rate.
What are you saying, Max? What did you pick up?
I didn't see anything wrong per se. I felt like she was cheated on in high school. We get that. I think maybe she just channeled her energy into self, because she's now CEO and she sounds spiritually sound. So for me, as opposed to the other woman, she's told you what she's been doing for 17 years. You see the proof of what she's
built a business.
Yeah, she's up herself, and now she's like, well, maybe the scene is just hard to navigate, so I'd rather go on a show. But she has a lot to offer, and she knows what she wants. But I don't really see anything wrong with her position. I think anyone would be lucky to have her. Obviously, we've only seen a glimpse, so I don't want to over exaggerate. But from what we have seen, she looks good to me. She looks solid, beautiful. A CEO, that takes some time to get to. Yeah. And so if she did channel that hurt, hopefully she also healed and it wasn't just
I hope so.
Redirected. And if so, she's a catch.
I agree. She is.
What are you saying, bro? From your perspective, what are you saying?
She, like you said, she's been single for 17 years. So I just think her career took away from her dating.
Yeah.
And also, just remember when she said she have met men, but they've been in polyamorous relationships. So I think she attracts the wrong men.
She said that.
I think she attracts the wrong men. Because remember she said she's looking for a God-fearing man, like a God-fearing man. You're on the wrong show, honey. You on the wrong show if you're looking for a God-fearing man.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She's on the wrong show. This show hasn't had a great success rate at all.
Yeah, but I think she's a good catch. Like Mark said, she's a good catch. But I just and this is the same thing. She's on this show. I just think she attracted the wrong men, and then her love life suffocated. It was suffocated by her concentrating on her career.
Yeah, I'm a little bit scared for her.
I am.
I'm a little scared for that she's going to attract one of the little pest bad boys in the show.
The producer.
Blood. That was honestly my thinking. The exact same first I was thinking. I was thinking AJ's probably going to see that, think to himself, "What a great girl! I can have this girl on my side, keep her nice and sweet." And that's what I was thinking straight away. So hopefully that doesn't happen, and she catches it early. And sees that he's not as genuine as she's probably think. Wow, I'm actually prejudging him. I don't know. Maybe AJ's going to turn his life around and be all good for her.
It's not likely. Did you see some of the clips? Was he the one that kissed her like half the?
No, that's the other guy. That's Troy. Troy was doing all the kissing.
Jesus, come on, he's the oldest one too. That's the 51-year-old. He's
doing all the kissing.
Oh, God.
What are you saying, Max? You want to say something about Liz?
No, with AJ though. Because
he's the next person on the list
anyway. He was the one that said, he got all his bad boy stuff out the way, all his whatever out the way. So I want to ask a question to the guys on the panel: is that real? Do you feel like you have to actually pass through certain phases and get it out of your system, or do you just think that was an excuse when he said that?
Did he?
Shut up.
I plead the fifth.
Ooh.
We need answers. We need answers.
Really, Didi? And Didi put his mic off too. He's had nothing else to say.
I think there's a certain level of truth, but I think you got to be careful how deep you go in the game, because the deeper you go, the much more harder it is to unlearn the tactics you've been using to draw women in and to play with them. And also you have to also think as well, if you've been playing around, moving mad, just having sex with women, how much trust do you actually have for women?
Exactly.
Because when you can't trust them, when you can't trust women, it's because you can't trust yourself. So when you go into that deep game and you're playing with women all the time, it's a very dangerous place to be in, because like I said, you realize a lot of, like when I see one of my guys, it takes them a very long time before, if they were playing girls, it took them a very long time before they settled down. And even then they have their issues, because like I said, you're used to playing in the field, you're used to having it whenever you want. You're not good at management arguments, because you usually would walk away and you would go out and do whatever you're going to do. So now you can't do those things. So I think you just got to be very, very careful. I think, having the little, I know we're all young, so we have a little bit of you make your mistakes and you be a bit naive and a bit foolish. But when you go full on dog mode, it's very difficult to come back from. Do you know what I mean? because you're probably going to end up being a dog somewhere else because you've trained yourself very, very well in the past. So yeah, I would be very cautious if a man saying, listen, I got all my dog years out and I played the field. I'll be like, yeah.
But you know what's funny? Yeah, he may have said that. I don't know if he said that, but I was, I listen, I had selective hearing and I have short attention span, but I got tuned or distracted by the F's that he said he liked. Like he went through the list.
Fun.
Feisty, fine. What he's, I think I wrote it down.
Yeah,
It was
feisty,
fine, fun,
pretty cool.
fit, financial, freaky.
Come on now.
So not over his whole days. He's still hoeing.
He, for me, like I said, that man just gave me Derek Jackson vibes. So that should answer your question. He looks like a manipulator. He looks like a man that he would just have you just as a trophy, like the trophy wife. No man want a trophy wife, but then he just want to have two lives. Like you want to have a separate life and then have his wife like show up for him dressed up nice with her hair done and stuff like that. But then he looks like he is very controlling. That's just my opinion about him. But I don't think he is husband material.
Thank you, sir.
That kind of lifestyle he into, no.
So he's been.
I didn't hear anything.
Not ready to love.
I didn't hear anything from him to show that he had learned. So like, yes, you got all your dog years out of the way, but okay, so what did you learn from those moments? Like, you know what? Yeah, I had all my dog years, but you know what I've learned now? That was not appropriate, that behavior, right? He never defamed it, never cussed it. He actually left it as it's okay. It's not okay. Like, if that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look back in your past and you see that you've been using girls, sleeping with them, playing around with them, manipulating them, it's not okay. So if you don't tell me something after that says, actually, you know what, when I look back at it, it was, that was not a good look, rah, then I'm a concern because you're probably still in that mode. You still think in that particular vein and fashion. So I didn't hear anything to kind of change what he had said in the past or what he had done in the past. So for me, I was just a bit like, and then you got on with the whole thing. Some people tell me I'm overly confident. I said, yeah, they probably do. They probably wasn't the word they use. They probably use arrogant, but you want to tone it down. I hear you. But yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah,
because sure, Kojo, there's also that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think that's it. His tricks won't change.
And then he said, someone put this, like he did say he might know some women on the show as well. That's what Sinead said. Yeah, he did make a point.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. He did
He's
say
everything cocky.
That. I told you, something wrong with let's just cut him out now. Let's cut him out now.
Everything about him is just cocky.
I think he was the one that said also he wants the complete package, but he's not everybody's cup of tea. I said, how does that add up? What kind of math is that? You want the complete package, but you're not everybody's cup of tea.
It's always those ones that they want what they don't have. They can't get entitled.
And then he said his skin glows, he got that glow in his skin, like he's so full of himself. He's the beard. I was like, no, bro, no.
He's gonna be the comic relief. He's gonna be the comic relief. He's gonna take that from Tressa. He's gonna be the comedian because he's doing too much.
He's doing too much. Way too much. Yeah, I wasn't feeling him too tough. Next person was Troy. Troy was the next person. He's the regional director. He's the one that said that women don't connect with him. I said, instant. I need to check on that. Instant. And he said, obviously, he wants a woman that works out, not into full-figured women, and then changed it. Said, no, actually, no, what I mean is I'm attracted to petite women. And then he said he's the best catch in Houston ever. And I was just like, ugh. Again, big talking, but I'm not sensing alpha male at all. Too much talking. Not enough action from me. What do you think, Max? Lola's already made her choice, so
I'm still processing him. I don't know. I'm struggling to really put together what he actually said. But I guess he's big on like appearances, right? He wants women to work out. Doesn't want a woman that's too full-figured. He wants someone who's petite. Wants this. Wants that. He's 51. That doesn't mean he can't be. He can't know what he wants and come with a specific list or anything like that. I just think if he's someone who is in with, if I'm coming, oh no, out.
You're cutting out a little bit. Mm-hmm. Go for it again. See.
I'm cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, go for it again. See if it work.
It's just.
I think she's cutting.
Okay, when she comes back, but I'm just going to kind of echo what she was saying. He's 51. He is he's not a baby. So he should have more to be. He should have more to offer, and you need to look past skin deep, because was he the one who said something about he doesn't want anybody who was full figured?
Yeah,
that he was looking for. Really, like, yeah, like, I mean, it's okay to have a type, but you're leading with that. So you haven't even met the females, and you've already kind of crossed out some people already. I just think at that age you have some clarity. You should know that it takes more than that to conduct a successful relationship, and he appears not to have that. And obviously, like, it's not like he's some kind of CEO. He's regional manager for someone. He's the one who's rich. So I don't know. He probably should. Who was the other guy last season who they kind of kicked him out real quick? The older one too. Like, I don't know if he has anything to offer. So that's why I gave him the X already. So in my books, I've given him the X, because I don't know what he would do to change my mind or my impression of him. I'm like, because it's like I'm leading. Like, if he was 25, then you might have some allowance and still be irritated by that. But he's 51. At this point, he should be clear. He should be talking to the young boys like, yo, this is what you need to do. No, he's not. The young boys are going to be teaching him. But yeah, I don't have anything for him. He needs to go early.
I hear that.
I remember one thing. Oh. I'm sorry. He was blaming. When he was talking about past relationships, he didn't have any accountability. He was one of the women I made a note on, where he said his lack of forming any sound relationships was because of them forming a poor poor
connection.
Yeah, like that's you. You are part of that poor connection. So what makes you allow you to make a better connection this time? So. Yeah, I'm just going to cancel him again and again and again. No, I'm sorry, Didi, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, everybody here have played Monopoly already. When you get that card, they tell you do not pass go, do not collect $200. He's the guy, you will get that card and tell you do not date him, because he's the best catch. The best catch of what? I was trying to figure it out. I'm kind of lost when he said he's the best catch. And like you said, he's saying that he's never, like, every woman the women he has dated up keep on saying that he don't have a connection with them. He's another one that needs to look at himself, because he comes off as a guy with his ego is huge, and then he comes off as someone that would talk about, like, if you're going to date with him, he'll talk about himself, like, like he would not pay any attention to you. Like, you just talk about himself, talk about his career, and not pay any attention to the woman. So I just think he has a really big ego, and he would not. But was he the one that was kissing all the women, right? Right, Kojo?
He was kissing all the women on cheek and hand and everything like that.
And this time of COVID, I know they've been tested, but still, don't be playing like that.
Yeah, he has a lot of red flags. I mean, and at his age, 51. He seems like he ain't about to stop.
I hear you.
That's true. He's
here to play. He's here to play. We had also Issa. Issa was development manager. Team. Her mum was a team mom, and mum said obviously she doesn't need. Mum trained her to not need anything from anybody, but never been married. But she's engaged and rolled her eyes. But has 20 years in relationship experience. I said 20 years in relationship experience. Girl, you've been doing it since 17.
Hey, that's what she's saying. But you have a problem with that, sir? No, she looks like she's definitely attractive when you look at her. She definitely looks like she's real feisty, like bum 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 bum. But the one thing she says, what'd she say? That she was not willing to be less vocal. Could that be why she hasn't been able to find her forever? And she's likely going to beef with someone or some people on the show, because she says she's not willing to be less vocal. Sometimes, sometimes she called herself Issa, but then they gave her the name Ida, because she did say something like that. But she's going to need to pull back. She definitely looks like she will need to pull back, but let's see how this goes. So she's definitely one to watch. She might make it interesting. I don't know if she's going to be a great match. I don't know.
Max, what are you saying?
I thought it was interesting, the point she raised about her mum being a teen mum, and what her mum had told her about, what did she say? Always have your own, you don't need a man. And it just made me think of, like, that kind of generational issue. Obviously her mum must have meant well, but the advice wasn't so great. And I think she lived long enough to say, okay, this actually hasn't worked for me. This isn't actually what I want. And I think I think that was quite, just a good reflection that she made, and it's obviously helped her kind of redirect her path. So I think that for me was a good thing. But other than that, when she said the 20 years industry experience, I was thinking, oh my gosh, like even for you to present it like that, I was thinking, oh
I think she was trying to be funny.
20-year industry experience.
like, I don't know. And then again, if you have had 20 years industry experience, what have you learned? You know, from what have you know? So yeah, this is it. You can't be having multiple 20 years, 2 decades of industry practical hands-on experience and nothing to say about it. No. You've had how many supervisors now? How much you've had industry experience, right? Where's the experience? Well, we need to hear something about it.
I know.
Yeah. Didi, what are you saying? What do you think about Ida?
Well, for me, the two things that she said that strike a red flag for me when she said she was very vocal and she likes attention. I think she, and then also when she said her mom keep on telling her she don't need a man. Now I've been in a relationship where I dated this person and then she's like, she don't need a man. Because the thing with women like that's just from my experience I'm talking about. I'm not talking about all women in general.
Of course.
The thing with women like that, whenever you see you argue with them or you might have a misunderstanding with them, they like to throw that at you. And then most times they drive the man away. And then I think that's the issue she's having because she looks like that type of person. Like she said, she's very vocal. So then she'll tell you what's on her mind. So then her guy might have an argument and she'll be like, oh, well, I don't need you. I don't need a man because she's successful. But that draw a red flag for me. So I just think she probably need to change certain things about her. And I think she'll do well in the show. But if she keeps on going the way she does, I don't think she'll last on that show. I think she'll get one of those that'll be kicked off.
But you know how these people watch the show and realize that they want to stand out? So she's going to probably want to go out guns blazing. Like, I don't think she's not going to calm down and curb herself. She's here to bring the entertainment because she was rah. She had a bright lip. Like, she's here for she's...
because I don't know if you saw the clip, Lola, where one of the guys was talking to the girl and she came and she came and sat there.
Can I sit down?
Then,
yeah. She pulled another Adriana. She did another Adriana. I saw that, sis. I don't know if that works for the other lady. Maybe you don't want to do that, but okay.
I saw that.
She wants to be the center of attention, so that's when she said she likes attention. I said that was a red flag for me. No.
Yeah, like right off the bat, like it's a no for me. But yeah, I don't know. She's probably just gonna be very entertaining.
I think she's gonna be the party starter. I think she's gonna. I can see her and Chrysanthemum clashing. Not backing down and stuff. So I thought it was again, you may be coming here to be a mole or maybe coming here to cause trouble, but actually it still speaks about you. Because the mere fact you accepted to want to come here and be a mole and you are on a show and you'll have 20 years of industry experience and still we are waiting, and then obviously as well the fact that she obviously she can't tame herself. Basically, if she's gonna be vocal, she's gonna be vocal. And I always find, again, just like the men who say they're alphas and have to be direct, I always say that when people say those things, what they really mean is, I don't want to have to bridle my tongue. I give it how I want to give it. And actually that speaks more about the fact that you don't want to be disciplined and you want people to accept it how you give it. And that speaks a lot about a poor character, necessarily not everybody else. That speaks more about you. And so when I saw that, I said, you may think that looks cute, but it's not cute to hear you say that, I'm going to just give it as it's going to give it. It's like, sis, like, you were coming on the show to be on a dating thing. Why is that even part of your speech? You know what I mean? That I will say it how I'm going to say it. It's like, why would that be part of your speech? You're here to date. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, I personally wouldn't be saying it myself, but I don't know. What are you saying, Max? You're looking at me, so I'm wondering. Mackie Mac.
Oh, can she hear you?
She got him.
Is he frozen again?
My internet is moving absolutely mad, so I don't know if you can even hear me right now.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm back. What did you ask me?
I was asking about anything else you wanted to add to Ida, because I thought you might have been asked Ida about her.
No.
You're good.
But she made a comment, right? Something like, "If you have a problem with me," I didn't get the rest of the sentence. Something. I just thought, just unnecessary energy. Like you're doing an introduction. You're not even talking to anyone right now. You're talking to the camera. What do you mean if you have a problem with me? Like, I just think people have to be more self-aware on how they're presenting themselves. Because if she has such poor awareness at the very beginning, then when the show goes on, I feel like that's going to work against her, to be honest. So
I'm hearing that.
She don't care. It looks like she doesn't care.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't care.
Hood and bougie.
Hood bougie.
Andrea, you changed your name back to, because you guys.
No, you can't even talk. You're meant to be a smoke artist, and you haven't put any name there.
No, actually, I wasn't here. Last time.
Oh, it was the other person that was.
Yeah, I had to.
Oh,
I love
my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I get you.
Sorry. Okay, we have new people on the
that's
show.
okay. I know it was some confusion, but that's okay.
No worries.
Didi, are we coming up with names because we got cheated out of the experience yesterday? Didi, you not going to come up with a name?
Jacob.
Why you gotta be so low? You gotta be so down and dirty low, Didi.
He always
so low.
You're always rolling in the dirt. You know what, Didi? But you know what?
Tomorrow is Easter Sunday, and my Lord Jesus is going to be rising, and so I am going to give you some.
You're going to stay clean. You're going to stay clean.
I'm going to stay calm.
She's going to rise above.
And rise above it.
I'm going to rise above it. Thank you,
Kojo. I hear you. So we're now talking about Tressa. The stand-up comedian, 42. At first, I'm not gonna lie. So we watched it privately. Some of us, we watched it privately, and my initial thoughts was, I said, I don't know how in shape she, because listen, shape is important. I'm gonna keep it 100% real in a dating scene and friend. But actually, when I saw the show, I said, okay, she's not too bad. It looked better, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I actually liked her personality. I really did. I liked her comedic stuff as well. You know, it seemed like she had a really good personality. I know we've previously on the show had female comedians. We had, what was her name again, man?
Andrea, I know who you're talking. I can't remember.
Yeah, and the guy was dating the guy with the mohawk. But it's like, I think there's been 2 ladies that previously in the past have been comedians. So 2 or 3 of them have been in the past 3 shows where have been comedians. So you know, I liked her, but for Tressa, I actually liked her energy. I liked the way she was coming. And like Didi mentioned as well, the homosexual comment was having me out, and she was like, "No, I'm not single, I'm sangle." You know what I'm saying? Put the H in there, and I said, I love that energy. I love that about her, and I think she's got a great personality. What did you guys think though, in terms of her on the show? And I know she's been married previously at 19, but she said that relationship didn't work out the way it needed to because she became the man of the house and she basically wanted a better life for herself, she said. And I said, okay. Yeah, what do you guys think? And she wants to be a power couple. This is another thing. She wants to be a power couple. And I said,
this power couple nonsense.
This power couple thing is going to get people into death and trouble.
Go ask Melody Hall. The power couple stuff doesn't always hold water. But yeah, you know what? I like her because she's funny. But in the past, the history of the show, the comedians haven't done so well. Like, you know, they get liked, they're fun to be with, but the guy just isn't that into them. I don't know if it's just the guy or the girl. I'm not sure what it is. She does have a great personality, great presence. She is attractive. She's a full figure woman, but definitely curvy, which a man would like. But you know, I don't know. I don't know how she's gonna fit with the guys. Because the guys, apart from the first one, was it Joel? We said a lot of them seem kind of superficial. So I don't know how it's going to go. I mean, she's the one who says she has a daughter, but she's going to make time for a new relationship. So it's left to be seen. I don't know. I'm looking. She's one of the ones where I don't know, because she definitely has. Because I think for a woman, like when you're going into this kind of arena, the few things you need to look at. Definitely, you want to be easy on the eyes. I definitely would like you to be smart, intelligent, good conversation, presence, good personality. So she has a few of those things already. So let's see. But the guys, honestly, yeah, they most of them seem fairly shallow, so they might not look past certain things. They may be looking for, like, you know, a size 2, size 4. I don't know. Let's see. But she definitely has a lot to offer in the real world. But then again, these shows are not the real world. They show you the grimy dating scene. So let's see. But I like her. She's definitely going to be one of my favorites. But I don't know how the guys feel about it.
Max?
Yeah. Yeah, with her, I like her, but I just don't know if this is going to be a fruitful space for her. Because when you guys were talking about the muscle and all the reps and stuff, I think the producers want that. If you actually think about the past season, everybody has a body, whether they're male or female, everybody has a body. So I feel like that's just the look. So when they put her in there, I was like, to me, I think she's great, but will she really have a chance? Like, have they really actually given her somebody who will understand her and like appreciate her? I mean, she said that she was the man of the house, and that was the problem for her. And she actually, it's like she almost wants to be kind of maybe like the support, the help me type, that kind of thing, which is great. But I feel that she would need a man who's willing to take time to get to know her and see that even though she may be maybe loud or funny, she's actually soft and she wants a man to be hard for her. So I do think that is really something that is a bit of a nuance, that if you're just shallow and you're just here to find, I don't know, a big back and big boobs and stuff, you're not going to take the time. So I wonder if she'll get what she's looking for. If there's a guy who has the substance and the patience to understand her.
Yeah, that's 2 points. Yeah. Didi, what are you saying?
She said that there are guys she dated that like her apartment that they don't like
the homosexuals,
the homosexual situation. And also I'm just saying I love Jay-Z and Beyonce, but the power couple she mentioned, they didn't fit for me, because I say she must have forgot that situation with Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Solange in the elevator when Solange attacked Jay-Z. I say no, that was a very bad example. But I like her. She's a very nice person. I think there's also one guy that said he likes voluptuous women.
That's
so
Khalil.
I think maybe right. So then maybe they might make a good fit. I think
he's shallow though. He flaky. Like, I don't know. Like, you see, he's the one who's But hey, you're a guy, you might know.
Phoenicia. Now she's full figure. She's like right in all the right places. So he gonna probably go for Phoenicia.
Yes, I thought. Yeah.
I don't trust her.
But I can't say much about her. I just think she's a very sweet person. She has, and then from her experience, it sounds like because of her sweetness, like being a nice person, that she's been taken advantage of a lot. That's why she said she ended up in a situation where like she felt like she was the breadwinner at the house, like, and then she just couldn't take it anymore. So I think the guys or maybe her husband would take her kindness for a weakness, but she seems like a really nice person. And also she mentioned her daughter. Like her daughter is a factor in her life. Like, she has that connection with her daughter, so that anybody she dates would have to understand that she has that connection with her daughter. But she just comes up as a sweet person to me, and I still think, I just don't think that show is the one for her as well, because the men in that show, they don't look too reliable. I
hear that. Yeah. Hood Bouger, talk to me, man.
So, you remember the young lady from season 2 that got put in the homeboy box? I think she's just going to be so cool that they not going to be feeling her. Now, they probably will not eliminate her right away because they want to be politically correct and don't want to look like they just didn't want her. But I think they're too shallow for her, and this is not going to be a good fit for her.
I hear that. Adjo?
It's so funny because when we watched it, I was thinking this girl's going to be the first one to go home.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, we have to understand the type of show that this is. Like, if you are just a regular minded person, this might not be a show that attracts you. This show attracts people who are center of attention, people who, they thrive on some level of competitiveness. Like, I'll show you what I can pull. I'll show you what I can do. Or, like, there's some level of performance that is associated with being on such a show. It's not all about just finding love and being pure hearted. And so when I saw her in the pool that she's in, I knew she was going to be either at the bottom just because of how she looks. She's if you look at all the women, she's the heaviest of them, right?
Yeah.
And being that she's the heaviest of them too, she doesn't come with that look that kind of buffers you when you're a heavy woman. Let's be real. Like, there's some level of prettiness that comes if you are heavy that excludes you from being isolated. She doesn't have that. She doesn't have that look. And so because of that, I knew she was going to be the first one to go. Now I'm looking at the preview and I'm looking at all the things that they're showing, and it looks like she's not going home first. So I don't know. I don't know who they're going to send home first. I think she's just going to be a filler until they get to a point where, things get real, and then it's just not going to be her. We can hope for it, even in our own hearts, we can root for her as much as we want to, but this is not, no, they're not going to be calling each other. This is a competition. And so it's going to be cutthroat, and the men are going to cut her when it gets time to really be serious. And that's just how I see it. But we love you though. And that yellow dress.
Yeah. I mean, she has some level of shape, so maybe that was what will keep her in, because maybe Thingy will keep her in. What's his name, Khalil, because he likes the voluptuous woman. So maybe that's why she'll potentially want to go. Because because we didn't see the full shape, we just saw her from the front. And when we saw it, was like, this is a competition. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's like going to Mr. Universe and then going, you got a dad bod. Like, you are not gonna win that competition. Right? It's like, and so it's like, when you watch it, and I know some people might be thinking, "Wow, it's a bit harsh," you know what I mean? But this is a competition. It's not a strictly dating show. It's a competition, and even if it was a strictly dating show, it's on TV where they've got specific people for the show. And so I was like. But then I said, okay, she got a bit of a figure, and I'm going to keep it absolutely 100. I said, she had a bit of a booty. I said, okay, she's got a good chest. Listen, this may save her for a few weeks. I'm going to keep it 100 real. Because at the beginning, you're not knowing nobody's personality. You're just seeing them and engaging and thinking, do you have what at the moment, can I see myself with you in terms of like look-wise, right? So, but then obviously when I saw on the show, I said, actually, do you know what? Listening to her, I said, okay, well, she's got a good personality. I actually like her personality. I think it was different from Ashima's. Ashima's personality, Ashima's personality was like, I was
a little abrasive.
Yeah, and just the way she spoke, I said, But with Tressa, it's a bit more light. I do feel like there's a bit more fluffiness around her, the way she talks. And I think that may be endearing for some guys to, try and really get to know her as well. So I don't know. I mean, it's such an interesting dynamic. But you're right. I mean, it is a dating show. So physique-wise, it can be something that may disqualify you in the long run as well on the show. So because a lot of the women on the show actually are in shape. I was like, whoa, I said, a lot of these here, they ain't playing. Like, they got people that are really making me feel bad about my own shape. Like, they in shape. Like, you know what I'm saying? They put even the boys to shame. Like, I'm being serious. Like, they weren't playing. Like, fitted dresses, everything. I said, wow. I said, these really didn't come to play. No. So, yes, it could be something that may something that may get to. Go for it, Hoodbush.
So, okay, I understand. I see DD face over here, your face. That's the real world. But these guys are shallow from previous episodes. This is like a kid in a candy store. So them boys are in a candy store and they're not gonna know how to act when they have the girl with the, that girl who had that pink swimsuit on. I was like, sis,
good.
Like, she made me just like want to go.
That was the attorney, right? That was the attorney? Was that the attorney?
I can't remember.
That was Amber.
Oh, look, did you remember? He's like, that was Amber.
So that
bathing suit was an amber look. You never see the amber look in your phone and you get that text.
That was a hot suit. That was a hot suit. Yeah, that was a hot suit.
Actually, when they interview people, they're like, "Are you shallow? If you shallow, you check off the list." But in the real world, Dee, Kojo, y'all
get to know people.
She's nice body, big, whatever. But for the show, I don't think she's gonna make it far. Yeah,
I agree that.
But I think to be politically correct, they're always throwing, a full-figured female. They'll do that. Like to date, one hasn't won, and probably I won't say probably won't. It depends on how long the show will last. But they do that on purpose. Now the other lady, Venetia, she definitely is kind of like she's got like a something with her full-figuredness, so she might go further. But I think they do that so people out there, our sisters who are full-figured, don't feel left out. Exactly. Because a lot of us aren't like size. Okay, I'm probably a size 6, but I mean, speaking for everyone, not everyone is, a size 6. They're probably the average size might be a 10. So you want to account for most people so everyone can find someone they can identify with, because they want everyone to watch and everyone to connect with a certain personality to keep the viewership up. So They know.
Why didn't they grab a guy with a dad bod? They didn't. They're cheeky like that. They know exactly what they're doing.
That's so disrespectful to us as females.
They didn't choose nobody that was like, maybe out of shape or whatever, or you know what I'm saying. They didn't choose anybody like that. So unfortunately, that's the double standard that they produce in the show, where it's like they might pick a woman that potentially would be on a larger side, but then they don't choose a guy that be on a larger side. So everyone's fit, and it's like, yo, why would you not equal it out then, or choose someone who likes a woman that's full figured in that sense? Then?
But there are two of them though, aren't there? Two guys on the panel. I don't remember their names. One is the
Khalil.
Yeah, there's one other person. I don't know who he is. That likes full figured. But the two of them. But the two of them, they seem kind of. I should look for. Yeah, I'll keep thinking. I don't know if it's the first guy, Joe. Was he? But I don't know. But either way,
no, I think it's one. There is one that said he liked full figured women, and the other one said he don't like full figured women.
Okay,
what did Joe say? There's someone.
But I think it's one.
I told you already about that chest that he's put away. Next person we'll talk about is Christian.
Christian, who the hell is? Oh, I know.
We watched this behind the scenes, and I said it, and I thank God I'm right. I said it gives me KG vibes, and it's even worse than KG vibes. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He doesn't look nice at all.
It's even worse than KG vibes.
He only looked good in one red suit.
No, he gave me KG vibes.
He had one red suit, which was a good. But he looked. I don't want to use the term dusty because people use that term too much. But even like his confessionals, like brah, like you got a nice shape up, sir. You're not even going anywhere. Bruh, his hairline was like, and now I'm acting like a girl. I'm looking at things I shouldn't be looking at. But his
it's important.
Lopsided. Like he looked rough. Okay, let me just, in a nutshell, he just looked rough. He didn't look well groomed.
Yes.
And like, he said something about, he's feeling himself. His skin didn't even look like smooth and chocolatey. Yeah, he looked, but it's one thing. I know, and I don't want to hold it against him because I know he's a mailman. I don't want it to be about all his earning potential or what his job is.
But we talk about the girls' figures, so we have to talk about the earning potential.
Okay, then let's go in. So he's a mailman. What are you gonna do? Deliver my packages on time? Like, what's all this? Like, he don't even look that. Like, he look. I can't even say because he just looked rough. Like, if he was clean, like there's one shot where he was wearing a suit. He looked like he mismatched his pants and he just doesn't look right. Like, I'm sorry, I was impressed. I hate to judge the Blue Collar Brothers, but he didn't look right. He didn't represent for the Blue Collar Brothers.
Yes, he didn't. I don't think he did.
Yeah, and he didn't have much to say either.
Max, what are you saying? What do you think?
This is the thing. So when you were saying about the woman who was full-figured, I was like, to be honest, a dad bod is not the equivalent. A guy that's not a high earner is the equivalent. I was about to say Christian is the equivalent. He's the mailman. He's not coming in. No. I'm no shade. I'm just trying to.
I know you know. I'm just laughing because it's real.
Okay, because he is a mailman, and like some of the women are CEOs. Some of the men have 3 businesses. Like, if you actually think about what they've done here, it's like they've almost thrown in one man and one woman that don't really fit the set just for the purposes that you guys have just described. So for me, I don't really know what it's like to be a mailman in America, but the equivalent in the UK is a postman, and I feel like if
it really is that. Okay.
Oh,
I thought it was something fanciful, but it's really that.
No.
Okay.
It's not fancy. Okay. It's not fancy.
Well, I feel like if you were to lead with the fact that you're a postman in the UK, I feel like you probably would. It probably wouldn't be,
it's not
in a room with CEOs, not in a room with, I think it could be a really hard, it could be a really hard thing to lead with. The same way we said that maybe some of the men are too shallow for the fuller figure woman. I feel like some of the women are too shallow for a mailman. So I feel like that is part of it, part and parcel. And then I know he did share, obviously, the fact that he's been sober for 3 years. I feel sorry for him because I'm just like, I don't think you're going to get a fair shot here. I don't think people are going to listen past mailman, and if they do, once they hit the 3 years sober, I feel that they may check out at that point because it's a competition, not because you're not a catch, but because it's a competition. We just have to understand that people are not. Remember, Tommy will come in and say, guys, by the way, surprise, we're cutting someone in 30 minutes. So really and truly, you're going to dashed very quickly, it's really hard out here, and I just don't think this space is going to serve him well.
Didi, what are you saying?
The first time I saw him, and then I saw his picture, and then I saw him like on the show, I was like, whoa, like, but I just realized he had a story.
Wait, why did you go whoa?
Yeah.
No, because he looked like the homeless guy in the corner. You'd probably give $1. That's what he like. I was like, whoa. But then when I heard his story, I felt a little sorry for him that he was an alcoholic, because alcohol makes you look older than you usually are. And then he went to the classes, he got rehabilitated, and he he's a mailman now. But like Max said, I do not think the women, I'm not sure, I don't think he's a right catch for them, because they seem more independent. They seem successful, and I don't think they want to be for middleman, to be honest. But he might probably be a wild card. You never know. But I don't think he's a good fit for the women. I'm not sure. Maybe the comedian, but self, I don't think she wants to be for middleman. But we don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, when I first saw him, I saw his picture. I was like, no, there's something about this guy. This, like, he looks really grungy a little bit. Like, and not only grungy, even his eyes. Like, there's something his spirit seems sad. Like, his spirit just does not come across as refreshed.
I hear you.
Right? And it comes through, like, when someone smiles, you can kind of catch their spirit through that. And when I saw his picture, I was like, no, something's off with this guy. It's just not sitting well with my spirit. And I think that's really what it is. Like, he must have gone through a rough life. And I think he's holding on to some of that within his spirit, and it shows. And so I don't think he's truly ready to love. And I think the girls are going to pick up on that because he's not going to be available. He's not going to be fully available. There's something there that he's holding on to. Another thing is, how long ago was that DUI? Did he say 3 years ago?
I think he said,
he said 3 years ago, right? Yeah. So he's been 3 years sober. Number one, what drove him to be, to be drinking? Is it an emotional thing? Is it more of like a hereditary thing? Like, because that could be a thing too, where, you can be you're more prone to being addicted to something depending on your genealogy. So I don't know if that's kind of his thing, or maybe he was going through something and that's why he's picked up drinking and then it became a problem. So for me, all those things are going to be an issue, because he's a mailman, but if he's like some of them make money, some of them make decent money depending on how long you've been in it.
I think he's a promoter as well.
They have benefits, but
he's also a promoter
they do have benefits too. So
what message?
Yeah. And I think when we talk about money, right? When we talk about money, a lot of us talk about money as like a leading factor. So yes, I get it. That may be his entry. The money factor could be an entry level question. But because he's handsome too, minus the hairline, because he's handsome-ish too.
He was handsome.
He has to let it go.
Well, I mean,
was okay.
He's a good-looking guy when he dresses up.
When we were watching the preview, there were some of the women that were like, he is handsome. To me, I think he is handsome, but because I sensed that something was wrong, he wasn't. I wasn't attracted. Doesn't look right. Yeah, because my attraction is more than just the physical look. His physicality, sure, he's dark skinned. He has that, that cute, like, what is that Kojo guy name? Brown Sugar, the Ghanaian guy. He has that kind of like dark. I forgot his name.
I know who you're talking about.
But he's a Kojo. He's a something Kojo. Like, his last name's Kojo. He has that like dark skin, like chocolatey-ish look, and I think the hairline is natural because it looks like it's just off in every picture.
Yeah, no, it's natural.
From all the way.
His
I
think it's like do a good shape up. That's all. He just needs.
It may be hereditary. He was born with.
Can shape you nicely. Like, you can be born with.
Then he's just pushing it all the way back. Every other one would be pushed back too.
He's not going to go barber. He's not going to barber regularly. He's not going. But yeah, I mean, I hear what you. But it's just something. I'm just not there.
Yeah, because it's just so skewed and like so curved that I feel like the barber has no choice but to follow that. You know what I mean? But just stop, please. I'm trying to be serious.
Yeah, you don't have barbers. You don't have like Kojo shape of the Christian bad boy. Like, look at him. Can you see those sidelines as he has his head down?
Yo.
No one's competing.
So, I think that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And so, so I'll give him that grace because it just, you got to work with what you got.
You do. And I agree with you, sis. But I just wasn't like, the first shot I don't know, maybe the shot you guys saw of him was the red suit. You guys must have seen him in the picture with the red suit. That was a decent picture.
Which picture?
There was a picture of him in a red suit.
Lola, every single picture, I checked it.
No, red suit.
Every
red suit
single.
It was a distant picture. He looked.
That's why you couldn't see it, and probably it was like dark over there. So that side you couldn't see.
Yeah, but his confessionals, I was like, no, sir, no.
That's
sir,
what I'm trying to say.
You should come
the
with
confessional.
your A game.
That was the problem.
It was the confessionals that showed me who we, and I was like, nah, gee, this is not going to work. You're probably right. The pictures, he looked okay, but the confessionals, this was 3D and it didn't work for me.
Yeah, he's gone through some things and it shows.
Yeah, and he's young too, isn't he? He's 36. I mean, alcohol addiction alone is something. It's a demon. It's a beast. And he's only 3 years clean, I think they say. So he's still in the throes of making an addiction is a lifetime thing. So I don't know if this shows the best thing for him, because anything, if they upset him, something happens, they could push him over the edge. So I definitely have compassion for him, but I'm not pegging him for anyone. In fact, they should do him a favor and let him go early.
He reminds me of Sam.
Yeah,
he reminds me of Sam. There's
season.
Something there, and Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think they are going to let him. He's a filler. He's a filler, just like everyone has said. He's a filler, just like Miss Comedian. And I think he's just going to stay for as long as they need someone to fill a space. And then once they're done with them, they're just going to send him off, because he doesn't compare with all the other guys. And it is a competition. I don't care what they say.
Yep,
competition first, love last.
Yeah, I agree that. Hoodboosh.
So I am reading the comments, and the comments are on fire tonight.
I'm telling you.
So we understand it's a difference between TV versus reality.
Yeah.
So in the real world, people I don't think have a problem with hard-working man that works and just does what he does. However, for this show, I think a lot of times the women and the men are shallow. So let's just be honest with the show. Now, with him being 3 years sober, we would need to know more. And I think in the little short time that they're on the show, that they're not going to be able to dig deep. So do you really want to get in a committed relationship with someone who's been sober for 3 years? Like, what makes him tick? What will tip him over the edge? So he's a little... he's scary for me. So I don't know. I didn't like him. I was just like, when he said sober for 3 years, not judging, but I would just be concerned about him on the show, which causes they're doing a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, and it's very stressful. So, Christian, I think I'm gonna pass it home.
I hear that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Our next person we talk about is Khalil. Welcome, Kenny. I know you where the money resides. You're there. Khalil, 41, teacher, loves teaching kids. He's the one that had the accident in the car. But got married to the girl who was also in the car with him, and then had an annulment. And then he also said he attracts cold-hearted, savage women, and he likes voluptuous women as well with that.
Yeah, he's the other one I was thinking of that likes full-figured women, Didi.
Khalil's the only one.
No, it's Khalil, and there's somebody else. The one we said we don't like.
Khalil is the other person. There was another guy who actually said it.
Girls.
Khalil was the only one that said it. Yeah,
the other one I didn't like.
Maybe someone else said it, but I can't remember. But
I can't remember. There's somebody else that said
Khalil,
didn't like.
Khalil said what he said. Yeah, me.
All right. So what do we think about him?
Yeah, what do you think?
Like I said before, what I liked about him is he's a teacher and he's passionate about what he does. He's not just trying to get a check. I like that. I mean, I know he has the story of having had the car accident in 2013. He saw the white lights and so decided to marry the girl who was in a wreck with him. And da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, they got this annulled. So I like what he's presenting. Does he have a habit of making poor decisions? That's yet to be seen. But at least the package, he seems to be more of the more genuine guys. He's definitely one of the more genuine guys on the panel. Let's see if there's anything else going on. So I definitely liked him. What else with him? Did he have any children? I don't think he had any children.
No, I don't think he had children.
No, he just had something about people, picking the wrong woman, a woman who had cheated on him in the past. So there's something there. But I mean, I guess that explains why someone who looks good and has a decent career is on this show, because now I'm just looking at the show with half an eyeball. Like, this is not a dating show. This is it's like, those MTV shows from back in the day where you just go through courses like this. Yeah, just make them jump through hoops for fun. I don't think you're going to find your forever on this show. So maybe he's just here to have some fun, do something different. A teacher is usually considered someone who's straight-laced, someone who goes by the book, someone who just, works 9 to 5, doesn't, goes to bed at 9 p.m. So he's doing something completely outside outside his comfort zone. Maybe that's why he's doing this, because I don't know. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know why he's on the show.
And who's looking after the kids when he's out? And even if they are somebody to look after the kids, when he goes back to that class and they see his behavior on the show, sir, I hope your exemplary behavior.
See, that's the thing. That's why he's doing something. I think this is outside his comfort zone. I would love to know his motivation for doing this, because he's not going to find his Miss Forever on this show. I'm judging. I don't know if they're going to do something different on the show. If they do something different, he might find a girlfriend for a couple of months. But otherwise, he's just doing something different just to break the monotony of, because he's been doing the homeschooling stuff. Like the virtual teaching is not fun at all. It's difficult. So he wants something different for his time. That's all I see there. I like him, but I don't. The good people on the show, I worry for them. Like, I hope they don't have their hopes up too high, because nothing's going to happen here, folks.
Okay. Max, what are you saying? Khalil? Teacher?
I think he's likable. There's some good stuff there. My issue was the story. In terms of when he said about he went through that car crash, right? And he has this woman who was visiting him every day. Was that not what he said? And supporting him through the whole thing. So then, like, that sounds good. And so he wants to marry her. He moves abroad to the UK. And then he says he couldn't find a job. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the reason he was like, I'm done here. Yeah. So for me, I was a bit like, okay, so you have a woman of substance here, someone who is willing to back you. Because I thought he was going to say, I love this woman, but because of the accident, she cut. But she was there, supported him all the way through. And then he's now coming to say, oh, but, I couldn't find a job, so I couldn't make it work. So I just found that a bit abrupt. Maybe he just didn't share the whole story and there was more to it and it was completely added up. But I just thought, okay, the fact that he got an annulment as if it didn't happen, I don't know, something just wasn't right for me. Because again, for a woman to love you that much and show you that love, turn up in your weakest, your lowest moment and give you that support.
Preach.
But he didn't love her. He didn't love her.
He said
That's why he
thought. He did. Maybe he did.
I don't think the dude thought he was seeing the white light. He was heading somewhere. Like he was going to see Jesus, baby Jesus, and so everything looks good. I don't think for a man. I mean, yes, he probably had his ego because he's not earning anything. But I think the bottom line is he didn't love her the way she probably loved him. He probably felt grateful. This was gratitude love. Grateful that she was there for him. Grateful that someone was there to support him. But in terms of boom, boom, bam, bam, I don't think he had that.
But he's also the guy now saying he doesn't attract the right woman, right? So let's look at it. Let's just judge it. You have this woman coming every day to the hospital, backing you, supported you, moved you across move you across different continent. So do you just not know what you want? Are you just not able to see a good thing in front of you? And if you're not able to see a good thing in front of you, why are you on this show? Because it's all about seeing what's in front of you and being able to get what is good and right for you. So if you can have, basically my point, if you can have a woman of that substance and a woman who's willing to support you to that length, and you can just say, I didn't find a job here, I need to make my way back. And you're a teacher. And you're a teacher. Do you know how many teaching jobs? Where in the world can't you teach? I'm struggling a bit. I'm struggling a bit here because for me, that woman that gave that much for you to just an annulment.
That means it was within a short period of time, right?
He was serious. He don't want it on his record.
How long did you give it? Because annulment is a short period of time.
A short period of time. So it was a very short period of time.
So is it just as soon as you were healed now, you were out? Because I'm well now, so I'm gone. So for me, I have that woman in the back of my mind, and I'm not too comfortable. But other than that, he is likable.
Okay, I'll hear you. Actually, you said you wanted to go next. Go for it, and Didi, and then Hoodbudge.
He's actually my favorite. He's my favorite so far because number one, I do think he is attractive. But I do the way that he set that story up that told us everything. He set it up in a way that I married her because of the ties that we have together and because he was showing up for me. He didn't marry her because he loved her. He married her because it felt almost right. And sometimes when you go through some of these situations, you just grasp at the nearest and closest thing. And that's really what he did. And then he said she asked, right? She was the one that kind of brought up that idea of let's get married. So he didn't love her. And yes, it's good to have someone who's going to be on your side, who is going to be good for you, but there has to also be some love there, right? The ideal thing, the ideal mate is to have someone who will be there to support you and someone who you also love. He didn't love her. And I think as he was getting better, because he was getting better, that level of energy of like, because when you feel your life is about to end, some people get to a point where they make like rash judgment. And I think once he was starting to get better, he started realizing like, oh shoot, I made the wrong choice. This is not really what I want. And I think that's why he got out of it. That excuse of he couldn't find a job, that's probably the same excuse he told her. That's why it came so easy, but that's not the real reason.
That's
the real
not the real reason.
Is that he never loved her.
Yeah,
he just never did.
Truth.
He didn't.
He married her out of duty.
No, he just felt grateful. Yeah,
the fact that he thought he was gonna die, and this was the nearest and
closest thing
that gave him comfort. And so
he went for it.
Have you seen the white light before? Have you seen the white light? Do you know what it feels like to see that white light?
But white light should not bring you to white dress, please.
No, but you just
listen. It can be confusing.
Finality. It's a finality thing. Yeah.
And then she was in the car, so the white light came. Her face showed up in the midst of the white light, and it was like, oh, you know.
Yeah. And then when they took him off the machine, he realized he's going to survive. He's like, I don't love this chick. We can't do a gratitude marriage. And so they did annulment.
Then he shouldn't have accepted.
Where's the accountability?
No, I'm not taking that from you. You made a good point. You made a good point, Max, because you said there is a history of making poor choices when it comes to females, and this possibly, we don't know this lady. This possibly could be one because the woman really put it out for him. But the truth, he didn't reciprocate that love, and so he didn't just do divorce. He did annulment. That means erase it like it didn't happen. In fact, I'm even bringing it up.
I said I got in and I said, "Whoa!"
So to that, can I make a point? To the fact that he makes poor choices. This was one of those poor choices. Not saying no to a woman that he doesn't love is one of those poor choices. A poor choice that he keeps making. It tells me, number one, that he doesn't have strong boundaries. Right? He's probably a people pleaser. Right? Yep. And because he is a people pleaser, he's drawing these women who see him and they're like, oh, I can run over that guy. I can use that guy. Because a lot of the things that he said in his commentary with respect to how he teaches was very value-based, was very like heartfelt. Like he's a very hearty person. Like he's a feely, emotional, like touchy person. Because he said he doesn't only teach his kids like curriculum. He teaches his kids the things that will help them in life. Like he wears his heart on his sleeve. Yeah. Right. And so the women that are shards and that are Naya-ish, they smell this and they come along and they just grab him and they go with him. Right. And so that's something that he needs to work on, whether he's actually done the work on himself with that so that he can actually see the woman who's best for him. I don't know. I don't know if he has. I don't know. But yeah, and also sometimes the show reaches out to the guys. They don't necessarily apply. So I don't know if this is one of those where they reach out to him.
Good points. Didi, and then
yeah. For some reason, Joe and I would dress alike, but then not everything I agree with tonight. When you said you like him, Mike, okay, well, what do you like about him? Like his looks, his
passion,
his temperament. He's passionate about what he does. Teaching is a service. You're serving the community.
No,
teaching young minds. His looks is okay, but when you remember, for a woman, yes, the looks play a part. But the other thing is the kind of person they are, the passion he has. He's passionate about teaching. Those are some of the things
I can't say much about him, to be honest, Lola. Like, I just want to see where he goes on the show. Like, he's something not too right about him, but the passion he has for the kids.
Didi, were you asking me a question?
The first impression is what it is, and the first impression is that he's definitely, because when you're a teacher, you're serving your community. This is of service. It's admirable. He's not making a whole ton of money, but he's serving the community by teaching young minds. That's something to admire. He's not unattractive. That's another great thing. Now we're talking about the other things that could be red flags. So that's what we like about him, but we're not saying he's perfect. So it's yet to be seen what else could unravel.
No, I'm just asking Joe, what do you like about him? Like, was it his looks or just what he?
What do I like about? Okay, so what I liked about him, again, like I've said,
I just want to do is his looks. You were talking about his looks, or?
Well, no, I do like his looks too. but I like his energy. Again, I think that I am a very good judge of like, somebody's spirit. I feel that way. And when I see him and he talks, he seems very warm. Like there's a lot of warmth that comes from him. And he seems very, he seems like he's motivated by like good things. And he seems to have good character, because if you're trying to teach someone, young kids especially, if you're trying to teach them how to maneuver life, that means that you have some level of goodness in you. Like you want to sow good seeds. You want to sow good seeds that will bear fruit. And to me, that's very admirable.
He just comes off a little too boring to me. Like he was like, if you're in a relationship with him as a woman, you'll just be bored. I don't know. That's how he
I like boring. Okay, I like boring. What, Didi? I like Jacob and I like Khalil. I like boring.
Hey.
And my favorite ice cream is vanilla. So there you go.
Well, thank God I don't just like an 80s baby, but anyway.
Leave this boy alone now.
I just find he's just a little, like I said, I just find he's a little boring. So that for me, any woman that would probably be in a relationship with him, I just think that it won't last because he comes off a little boring. But his mission with the kids and stuff like that, and look, the reason why he got married, and I was just wondering, like, if when he got the annulment, was he a teacher then? Like when he said he couldn't find a job in the UK, was he already a teacher, or what was he doing? But that was just an excuse to me. I think maybe his wife probably got bored with him. That's just my opinion, but he just comes off as a boring guy to me. That's what I...
It's not a long time to get bored of him, I hear you guys. Hoodbush, what are you saying? And then Kenny. Hoodbush.
Okay, so I'm sorry. His smile had me, but he's just a little concerning because if you can't tell the truth, it's like he was trying to skate around the issue. Like, okay, what was it? You couldn't find a job. I'm like with Matt. Like that wasn't the truth. It might have been a small portion, but you pretty much. I think he's a people pleaser to add to Edge, because he felt bad because she was at the hospital. Because if she came over from the UK to the United States and was at his bedside, he felt obligated. So that makes him seem like a people pleaser. So do you really want to be with a people pleaser, because are they really showing you their true selves, their inner selves? So it's just like, if you keep people pleasing me, I don't know who I'm married to or who I'm with. So I'm kind of nervous about that. Like on the show, is he just going to be a chameleon and transform into what the women want just to, get along or whatever. So I think he's a nice guy, but he's not fit for, like you said, the rough woman.
Ken, the audience are waiting to hear from you where the money resides. Talk to them.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Good evening or night. It's really late. So I don't really have a comment. I just had more so a question about Khalil. Khalil is the guy who married a lady on his like quote unquote deathbed.
Yes, ma'am.
What if he just wanted to, like, I know we called him a people pleaser. I don't disagree, and I don't disagree with anything that has been said. But what if he just wanted someone to just take care of him while he was, quote unquote dying? Like, what if that was what it was? It wasn't like he was trying to please her, but he just wanted someone to be with him until his last days. And maybe the reason behind the annulment was that he didn't die, right? So,
right. Yeah.
Because you annul when it's based on false pretenses or you don't consummate the marriage, right? Maybe the false pretense was that this was supposed to be a terminal disease or whatever, and he didn't die. That's just
Okay.
Yeah, completely. We agree. That's it. I agree. That's it, really.
I hear that. Still selfish, but hey, I hear that.
No, we're not saying he's not selfish. Though. We just said why we like him.
I'm not. I'm saying that. I'm just saying that it's still a bit selfish for me.
I mean, which man isn't selfish?
Death or no death, you dragging someone into that madness.
Which man do you know is not selfish, bro?
I know every man is selfish, but when you're on your deathbed dragging someone into a marriage, just give her your savings while you're at it there. Why do you have to go get married? I don't understand. Transfer the money into her account. No, real spit, because you end up marrying this girl because you think you're on your deathbed. Bro, just transfer the money, let her come and see you every day. Why do you have to marry the girl? You understand? She's marrying into you're going to pass.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't
man.
disagree with you.
I don't like them things there, brother. He's got boundary issues and he needs to sort them out, bro. Next person we're talking about is let me get my notes on the right level. So after Khalil, it was Amber, the criminal attorney, 31. She's one of the youngest in the show. I think it's a bit unfair. I don't know why they did that.
Didi should go first. Didi and love this one. Didi, go ahead, Didi. This is you.
They think she says obviously people are having a perception that she might argue, but she did admit to having a hard exterior. And that when she makes up her mind, nobody can change it. So sis says she doesn't want to argue, but she has a hard exterior where she can't change her mind. I said, sis, just say you like to argue, because that's where you're going to. That's where you're going to. You killed yourself with that. You know, you I don't know where you should go with that. And then to the point that she even made that fact that Jesus will even with Jesus she still struggles. So but now she's open, because beforehand she had the wall up, etc. So Didi, since this is your resident Amber, you like this particular girl. I mean, talk to us. What's your thoughts about Amber?
When Amber said not even Jesus, she said not even Jesus Christ can stop her when she made up her mind. I was like, whoop, red flag. Because Amber just comes up as, if you Amber, like you said, she's making excuses like she says because she's a criminal attorney or defense attorney that people think she likes to argue. Amber, you like to argue. That's why people are saying that. And then I just say, like, you know, she's cute, she's pretty, but
she is.
I just think she's trouble. Because
of the pink swimsuit. The pink swimsuit.
No, come on. Why are you trying? Are you instigator? What are you trying?
Why are you stammering? You're stammering. Sir, you're stammering.
She's cute, but I just think she's trouble. She looks like a lot of trouble to me.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Okay. I have nothing for her. I really don't. I mean, she's attractive. The only thing I noted, and I don't want to hold it against her, is that she did say that when she goes to work, she's arguing on, debating. Yeah. But she says she doesn't want to bring that energy home. I think I remember her saying that. So she's trying to let you all know that she might be an attorney who likes to battle back and forth, but she might be suggesting that at home she's probably warm and cuddly. I don't know if that's true, but she's letting the guys know that they should approach. That's all. I have nothing for her. She's attractive.
Okay. Kenny, what are you saying about Amber? Vibes, not vibes?
I mean, I feel like Amber's gonna be almost a wild card in the mix.
Dark horse.
I also feel like she's gonna try to swing for the fences and reach for fruit that's completely out of her reach. That's what I think. Just to stir the pot a bit. The whole, when I've made up my mind about something, not even Jesus can, like, if he even has a problem with it, just lets me know, like, she's definitely going to be a game player, for sure. I don't get a huge sense of self-awareness from her. So I see her trying to go the Alexis route and trying to play the game. But I also see backfiring, because I don't think she necessarily has the level of self-awareness that you need to play this type of game.
Yeah, I hear that. Max, what are you saying about Amber?
Yeah, potentially a bit of self-denial, really. I mean, if you're coming to say you don't like to argue, you argue at work, you finish your arguing at work, but nobody can change my mind, not even Jesus. So how do you think people are going to attempt to change your mind? By conversation that will lead to argument, because they're trying to persuade you. So I just think you don't want to accept the reality, because maybe you just don't want to be the argumentative woman. That's fine. But if you are the argumentative woman, then you just have to acknowledge that and work towards not being that person if you don't like it. She also said that she's loving and nurturing. So she has, in her own perception, at least good traits. But if you're saying, when I make up my mind, even Jesus cannot do that, like, you chose those words intentionally, right? You're trying to convey a message to us about being strong, about being potentially even hard-headed. And I feel that really and truly, if you're coming into the dating scene, if you really want, I'm just, in my mind, I'm thinking, what kind of man does she want? Or what kind of man does she think she's going to attract? Because I think she tried to, like, kind of rein it down a bit by saying, I don't really like to argue. People assume I do. But then you also, at the same time, really just juxtapose everything you just said. So I don't know if she really understands herself, and I don't know if she really knows what she wants. And if there's that much confusion in one person, I don't know how you're going to find clarity in a scene like this.
I'm hearing that. Vibes. Yes, Hoodbush, what are you telling me?
So I kind of like Amber for now. I didn't hear the part about the Jesus. I must have been eating some ice cream or something. I don't know. I missed that part. But I took it when she said that she don't like to argue. Sometimes when you have a stressful job and you're thinking all day, you may just not want to go home and do that same thing. You know, like my job, it causes me a lot of like intense moments and it's an intense day. So when I come home, I'm light and, you know, fun. And sometimes I don't even watch shows that make me think too much. So maybe that's what she was saying. So I'm going to give her the benefit for now because we haven't seen much of her. But I kind of like Amber. I don't think she was just saying that she don't like to argue. Maybe she was just presented it to us and we took it the wrong way maybe. But we'll see.
Okay, I hear that. Lola? What do you think about Amber?
Oh, I mean, I've said my piece about Amber.
Have you?
Yeah. Remember, I just said the only thing I see is the fact that she was trying to sell us a narrative that she says she argues at work, but doesn't argue when it comes to home. Now, how true that is, we're going to see that play out. So, I mean, yeah, she's cute. That's it. She's, petite, small, attractive. Is she argumentative all the time? Is she going to be battling? We don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I have nothing there. No flag, so to say. I don't know what else to come up. I just see her. She made a point, and they edited it with that point. The point was to stress that, yes, I argue at work, but I don't want to bring it back home. Now, is this telling us that she really is very argumentative, and then she's real boisterous and likes to fight all the time? I don't mean physically, but with her words, to battle people and to spar people because she's able to? Or is she truly just someone who does this at work and can just sit back and watch people talk without jumping in and taking over the conversation? And I think time will tell if that's true. But I feel they put that in her first edit for a reason. Like, okay, I didn't want to go home and do this. And she said it for a reason. So is she known to argue? I'm just waiting to see. I just wanted to see the one I really wanted to see was what Dee felt about it, because he remembered that pink swimsuit like real quick. But yeah, otherwise, then we could go on to the next one.
Ash, you open your mic. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I think I'm the last one to speak on this one. So, here's my thing. It takes a certain level of personality to be attracted to law to begin with. Not everyone is attracted to law. Okay, so it takes a certain level of makeup to be attracted to law. And so for her to say that she's not argumentative, she may be thinking that the men are going to associate argumentativeness to being naggy and to being annoying. So she's presenting herself as, oh no, I'm not that girl. Like, I'm not going to be naggy. I'm not going to be, following you with an argument. So choose me. But the truth of the matter is that, there's some of us that intellectually, when we see something that's not right, we're like, no. Let me check that. Like, let me check that. And if you're that way, that's who you are. That's okay. Like, own it. And I think she just does not want that to be translated into the kind of girl that men say they don't want. And because she's on a show looking for a man, of course, that's what she's going to lead with. But for her to say that not even Jesus will stop me, that in itself lets me know the level of, because everyone has a certain level, like a threshold of argument. Like, okay, if I get to this point, if I've made my point 3 times in a row and the person's not getting it, I'm done. There's some people who are like, I'm gonna just make it one time, and if I make my point, they don't get it, I'm done. Hers is high, okay? Because a lot of us, we just want to hear Jesus. Everybody else we're going to argue with, but Jesus comes, we're like, okay, Jesus, okay, if you say so, Jesus. So for her to say it, even Jesus, and this is not the first time she's used that terminology, because it's not. This is something that she probably says a lot, or maybe people say it to her and she thinks it's a badge of honor, like, oh, even Jesus can't stop her. And but you're saying 2 different things. You're saying you're not argumentative, and you're saying that even Jesus can't stop me, which lets me know that you're not going to be your authentic self. You're going to want to bring a representative, and then your true self is going to show after. So I'm sure the men are going to peep this. And once they peep that, they're going to put her in a category that's not going to be wifey or like the girl that I want to take home. They're going to just put her in a category of I just want to play with her. And then once I'm done with her, then I'm just going to let her go. So she may write, because she's beautiful. When I saw her, she reminded me of Kenny. Kenny, she reminded me of you. She's so beautiful. And she has just this chocolateness. And yeah, she's very, very, very beautiful. Kenny, did you see that? Did you no? No, you didn't.
Kenny was like, listen,
Yeah, that she's like,
because Jesus can talk to me, but I don't know about him.
No, that's her personality.
I'm joking.
Personality.
Jesus, God, the Holy Spirit, everybody. Like,
no, looks have nothing to do with.
Though.
We're joking.
No.
Looks reference that in the
this is not a professional reference. This is aesthetics. This is absolutely aesthetics. This has nothing to do with personality. Has nothing to do with anything else. When I saw her beauty reminds me of
I'm not
that.
talking about beauty. I mean, I meant like when she said, no one could stop me, even Jesus. Could she have been making reference to her professional personality? Could that have been why she? Because I don't know.
No, you're not coming here with your professional representative. We don't need anything professional about you on this platform. This is a dating show.
Yeah,
and
but
so
she's
with the dating
attorney. She's telling you, so she's giving you her bio, and she's telling you about what she does. And if you remember, when we talk about who's the beautiful one last season, who was the lawyer, remember her name?
Simone
was seen to be argumentative. Is that a reason for her to want to defend herself? That yes, I'm this at work, but I'm not defending her. I'm saying there's a possibility that could be it, because now we've drawn a comparison with people who know to be attorneys who come on the show. And especially the way they edited that scene with her and Edwin, where she was just going in, but from what she said, it was edited that way. And that's not how the conversation occurred. So yes, she's saying, yes, I'm this at work. She's proud to be an attorney. But on the other stretch, I'm this at home. Could that be what she's saying? I'm not saying it is, but I'm opening the possibility of that being the truth for her. Since we've only seen like a 5-minute monologue of her. That's what I'm opening up. I don't want to just say she's this. I don't know that yet, but just kind of looking at the way we've judged lawyers in the past.
I mean,
they've always proved the case.
Absolutely. Yeah. I disagree that that's what it is. I don't think it's a professional. She didn't bring it up as a professional take, because why would Jesus come to you and tell you to stop arguing if you're trying to argue a case? Like Jesus was like,
known to be heartless. Like honestly, like here, I didn't even hear that part about nothing can stop me. Maybe I was just chilling, just looking and moving on to the next personality. I wasn't too impressed. But if she's saying that, is that what she could be saying? Because then it's like, it doesn't make a lot of sense for her to say in the same monologue, nothing can stop me, but I don't argue at da-da-da. But maybe if she's talking professionally, that would make sense. Lawyers are very articulate. They know what they're saying. Their words, everything they say means something. I don't assume her to be a careless talker if she talks for a living. So could that be what she's saying? Well, yet again, I'm not saying that's it. I'm just opening up the possibility. That's all.
I think oops, sorry, Kim. Maybe this is what men are saying to her. Like, when they first meet her and she's saying she's an attorney, like, oh, you like to argue. So a lot of times when you meet somebody, people associate you with your profession. So maybe that's what she was saying. Like I said, I don't know enough about her to say, does she like to argue? But a lot of times people do. When you're a doctor, they start asking you, well, I was called for you. Like, oh, no, I'm not this type of doctor. But people seem to always associate you with your career. So maybe we're going to give her a break. I just like her a little bit. So sorry. I'm like,
that's not wrong with that.
I think the whole Jesus comment was just her trying to allude to the fact that she's stubborn. Like the moment she set her mind to something, she's not going to change it. I have a friend who literally says the same thing. Funny thing is, she's sitting right next to me and she is cackling because she feels so triggered and judged by all of y'all. No, but
bring her on the mic.
I told her she's on the panel, but yeah, she's here. This is her first time discovering me doing this, and she's like, you guys are judging me. I say that all the time, and I told her, like, you need to let Jesus do his work, okay? Let him do his work. But it literally, I feel like she's just I think the lady's just saying that she's just really, really stubborn, which sounds cute. The same way that when we talk about Bree being bossy, she says it like it sounds cute because it works for them professionally. But obviously it's not working in love, right?
Right.
So it sounds cute to her because so far it has served her professionally and she's focused most of her time professionally. But now she wants love. It's not cute in love. Unfortunately, in love, you have to shed that armor. Jesus has to do his work, right? And Jesus could be the man that's talking to you. Jesus could be your friend who's giving you advice. Jesus could be, some self-awareness. So I don't think it's cute for what she wants to go for, but definitely in work, it sounds like it's worked for her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. I mean, the line of profession that she does, you need to be stubborn. You need to be somebody who's going to chase things and never accept no. But again, just like the comedians, the show has proved that the very people who are lawyers, and there's been 2 of them, I think, so far on the show, they do the exact same thing they don't want to do, which is that maybe they're not argumentative, but their line of inquiry becomes very tum 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 tum. And as somebody who's trying to get to know you, I do not want to be interrogated, because that's what you're doing. You're interrogating someone. So there's an art and a skill to having a conversation to find out facts without interrogating, and that's where it's that we have to see what Amber can bring to the table. Has she learned that skill that when she's out of that, she can do that? And here's the hardest thing: she's trained in this for years. It's almost impossible now that it doesn't affect her personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost impossible now. You trained in this area to interrogate, to break arguments, to bring up points at a certain point in time. It's almost it's going to be an almost irresistible urge to hear a man say something, and he might have said it to someone else, and you heard him say it to you, and you're like, so you said that thing last time to this girl, and it will just be a natural thing that will come across, but it will look like you're interrogating. So it's very hard to split what you do at work with what you're doing at home, especially if that's what you're trained to do. Like, for instance, what I do on YouTube, I was doing at work. There was no difference. I was doing it in the office. I did the exact same thing on YouTube. There is no change. You don't change those things because they're part of you and part of your personality. So she will need, there's 2 things. Either she's going to have to find a guy who's okay with that, or she's going to have to change and bring some self-awareness in that area. And that is painful, because we're asking you to undo years of training that has made you successful in your job. And that can be very, very difficult. That's why lawyers are very, like, people when they see lawyers get a little bit like, oh, because they know that's your job. You can't, and like as I said, there's a certain type of people that are drawn to law. They do like an argument. They do like to dismantle arguments. They do like to have a little bit of a debate. I love a debate as well. I'm not drawn to law, but I do love a good debate. Do you know what I'm saying? But I know also how annoying it is when every single conversation leads to a debate. It is not cute at all. But I like Amber. I do like her energy. So hopefully we'll see more of her. David is our next resident. David, 44, real estate agent. He also does officiating of weddings as well as working something else. I missed what he worked on. Has a big family. I think he's one of 7. Been married twice. But he said obviously he married the wrong person the second time. Parents were in a 40-year marriage, divorced, and he's been broken from that happening. He said he's a hopeless romantic, and he's picky, but wants a woman that when people talk about her, they don't just talk about her looks, but say how great and kind she is. I put in brackets, he hasn't got good boundaries. That's what I put in brackets. He's not got good boundaries. Whenever I hear hopeless romantic, basically what you're saying is you get taken for an idiot. That's what you're trying to say to me. Yeah. No, that's what you're saying to me. No, that's what you're saying to me. Hopeless romantics get taken for an idiot because you're in love with the idea. You're in love with the idea. That's why you call yourself a hopeless romantic. And anytime we see someone saying that, I always see them get taken for joke. So that speaks to me about maybe not very good emotional boundaries. Hence why he also chose the wrong woman too as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe he wants to replicate his parents' marriage. That's my particular thoughts. Why are you guys laughing?
No, I just think it's funny. Like you just threw homie under the bus. Like, oh, hopeless romantic. He's a sucker. He's a simp. He's a this. He's a that. Boom.
But he is not a simp, but he's you know he does not good boundaries, so women are gonna take advantage of him. You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you think, Lola? Since you've been one.
So you know what? The problem I had with him was actually different. I didn't even cue that. So yeah, he's been married twice. So that means he's looking for his 3rd marriage. He didn't figure out the last 2 times. Okay, that's one. I'll go back on that. And then the second thing was he almost shed tears when he was talking about his parents divorcing after 40 years. Like, homie is, how old is he? He's 40 something, right? Like he wanted to shed tears. So there's some emotional issues there. And it is, what are they? Like, what led him? Like, I don't want to judge people that get divorced, as I've also participated in that exercise, but he's done it twice. So what has he not figured out? What's going on? I'm not saying he's a bad person. And then even his job description, he's a real estate person, he's an investor, and then he officiates weddings. Like, he's all over the place. Like, I don't know, like, he's ADD like me. I don't know, they're just, different things. I won't call them red flags, but they're things I need to note, like, what's going on here? But yeah, the thing that really caught me was he was almost shedding tears when he talks about his parents. Not to say he shouldn't feel sad that his parents got divorced, but there's a reason why, some older folks, after 40 years of marriage, decided to actually usually people just live separately or stay in separate rooms. They decide to go to the courts and get divorced. What happened there? So that's what he most likely...
80,
Yeah, right. I'm just... Right, something, late in life. So it's like, what wounds is he carrying around that he's going to be walking around with when he gets into a relationship? That's my concern for him. I mean, maybe that's why you perceive him to be a simp, sir. Because he has stuff going on.
I'm not saying he's a simp. He's just a little bit soft.
You call him a sucker. What's a simp and a sucker?
I said get taken for idiot. That's what I said.
That's a simp. So yeah, I think that's it. It's like, what is he going to bring to the table? Some emotional issues, and he's going to have triggers. And most likely, which always happens, is they end up picking someone who really triggers them, like whatever's going on within him. So yeah, I know. So that's where I was like, there's some what's going on with him. That's how I see it with him. But otherwise, he's somewhat attractive. But yeah, it's just the 2 marriages and his issue with his parents thing. Something is there, and we might see it or we may not. I don't know.
I hear that. Yes. Oh, can you unmute to go for it?
Yeah. So, Kojo, I actually agree with you. When I saw his clip, I was like, "Oh Lord!" When he said he had 2 marriages under his belt, I wasn't surprised, because I was like, most likely he married people's potential as opposed to who they really were. Because he seems like the kind of person who he's a nurturer, he's a caterer, like he wants to take care of, wants to tend. And that usually means that, you're an empath and you don't have great boundaries for yourself. So you get, someone, gives you a challenge, instead of you to emphasize your boundaries, you expand your capacity. And so he continued to do that until whatever marriages probably just ended up ending. And then when he got really emotional about his parents' divorce, that caught me by surprise, not because he was emotional, but because that emotional reaction means that there's healing that needs to be done there.
Yep.
And so my first question was, have you gone to therapy? Have you talked to someone about this? Because if you are still carrying that emotional wound and you go into Ready to Love, you're going to look for a woman you think can tend to that wound. And once again, you're not picking from your highest self. Once again, you're not picking from your healing. He's going to end up with a 3rd marriage and a 4th marriage and a 5th marriage until he takes a step back and heals some of these wounds and checks some of these boundary issues, these things that are causing him to pick the wrong partner. Because on paper and on camera, he seems so sweet.
Yeah.
It's like there is no reason why he should be on his 3rd marriage based on what you can see. So his handicap is what we can't see.
Yeah.
And his handicap needs professional help. So I think he's going to be the Edwin of this season, where women are going to want to mother him, and he's probably going to walk out of here having a whole bunch of women thinking that they can heal him and take care of him. But what he really needs is professional help.
I hear that. Good points. Yep. Max, go for it.
Yeah. Just looking at him, I feel like he is an idealist. He loves ideals, it seems. And so I think he doesn't deal very well with disappointment. One of the things I noticed that he said, which I found quite interesting, is, I officiate weddings, so I'm always around it. No, you're not. You're not around marriages. You're around weddings. You're around people's happiest day. You're around the highlight, the happy moments, the drinks, and the vows. So maybe you have a misunderstanding of what it takes. And I think if you have parents married for 40 years, I think you begin to believe this is a forever thing, right? So I think that ideal the way it will come crashing down, I think that will take some healing, that will take some time to work through. Because if you are an idealist, if you do believe in these forever afters and and all these things, I think every bit of disappointment is a heavy and hard blow. So I do think that is an aspect of him that I've seen. I mean, he says he's big on family, and he just like a really sweet guy. But I think the world is hard and the world is harsh. And so when you are sweet, when you are going to deal with life naturally, you've got to learn to deal with disappointment. You've got to learn resilience. And if you're not a resilient person, how are you going to get married? Because you can be idealist, right? But you need that balance with resilience so that when you come across these issues and people aren't as perfect as you think, you're able to work through it. So for me, I'm just a bit like, he seems lovely, but is everything there in terms of ingredients and tools for marriage? I understand he can do weddings, but for marriage, is everything there? Because if you've done 2 already, you just need to be thinking, have I got everything that can contribute to someone's forever?
Love that. Good points. Hubouget, what are you saying?
Y'all scared me. David had me with the smile.
He's good looking though.
Kojo tearing him up. I'm like, whoa. You said he's like gonna get taken.
He called him a simp.
He's good looking though.
So I'm learning new words tonight because I didn't know what simp was. Okay.
Sorry, Key.
David.
Apologies, Hoodbush. Didn't even take out your man like that. Go for it.
Yeah, so I guess because I've been in the house too long too, so I haven't been on a date or anything. So I might need to stay in the house a little longer because I like David. So I think with some good counseling and he worked through his issues that he could get there because the core of him is good. Yeah. So I think he likes the ideal of marriage because his parents were married so long, and it's almost like he was devastated because when he talked about how his father had broke him, and it was just like, wow, dude. So with him getting married, like a lot of times when we grow up in a household that's what they do is get married, he wanted to live that standard. And then when his parents didn't last, he was like, well, maybe my 2 marriages, wasn't so bad, and he's, just want to be married. So some people want to be married, like my uncle. He's been married several times. I love him, and I like the new wife. I think she's the one for him, but he likes marriage. So maybe David is just like marriage, and hopefully he'll get someone that can meet him, that's God-fearing woman that can, help him work through the things. Because my new aunt, she has helped my husband, with generational curses. She helped him through counseling. She helped him through all the things, and I see a difference. I see him being a better man than in the past. So maybe with the right woman, counseling, God, he can do it. But yeah, I like David. The smile had me, but Kojo, you tore my man up.
Sorry. Deed, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think he's kind of too emotional. And I think that he needs to work on himself because I don't think he's ready to be in that show. And yeah, that's what I think about. He looks like someone that comes up that's too emotional. Like, he gives me a little bit of Vincent vibe. Like he's sensitive, he's emotional. He don't know how to deal with his emotions, and he just needs to he needs to work on himself and fix himself before he actually jumps into another relationship. Because maybe that's why he has been married twice, because he never let himself heal from his the previous marriage, and he probably just jumped into another marriage. So I just think he comes off as someone that needs to heal himself first before he actually starts dating. But that's what I think.
Andrea, what are you saying?
I actually liked Max's comments of him being an idealist. I agree with that. I do think that he is very idealistic. And it actually even shows with the fact that he's crying that his parents are divorced, because it happens, and also it lets me know that either his parents didn't really show him their true marriage, which could be that one of the parent is probably idealistic as well and just built up this very idealistic home. And so he's just taken that with him, and he probably has tried to implement it in his marriages and realizes that it's not working. But instead of him realizing that his views and his approach to marriage is probably wrong, he's taking it as the marriage itself is wrong, and then he's probably gotten out. So I wonder if he's ever going to be in a place where he finds a woman that's going to match this view. He probably just has this fantasy, and he's just hoping it will come to fruition, and it just isn't, because it's not real. Another thing that is absolutely a red flag is that after you've been divorced twice, why are you on a televised show to find love? Divorce is not an easy thing. It hits you hard. It makes you question yourself sometimes, and you got to do some work to get through all of that. You've done it twice. Why are you on a show, a competition, to try to find love? Why would you do that? Like, that platform to find love is one that just, why would you want to choose your third wife? Because you become extra cautious after your first divorce, or after any divorce. You become extra cautious because you want to get it right. This level of finding a wife is a little bit, I would say, quote unquote, careless for someone who's been divorced twice. So I'm thinking, what is your, like, mentally, how did you even get to the point of this is a good idea? Whether you signed up for it or whether they called you, why would you think this is a good idea to find love? I don't know. That to me lets me know that he probably hasn't fully healed, and he was just hoping that someone would throw a woman on his lap and it would just work. And that's just how I'm seeing it, because you would be extra cautious, right, Lola? Like that. Once you get divorced, you are extra cautious.
That's what I'm saying. Because he has 2 under his belt.
He has 2.
So we know he has wounds. Those
don't even say month and married. No, I don't even want to hear the month part of married.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting PTSD from all the other divorces. Like, why am I over here looking at 10 women and trying to choose from them? No,
we know he has wounds.
And also, him crying lets me know that he is not over probably his own wounds. Sometimes other people, like, things trigger us where it taps into our own wounds. He may not just be crying for his parents' divorce. He may be crying for himself as personal, and his divorces. Because for him to do that on camera lets me know that he can't even control how that pain shows up and when it shows up. Which lets me know you have no control over that pain, because we all have pain, right? But most of us can at least control when that pain erupts. I might have to hold it in until I get into my shower and that water's pouring over me, and then I'll let it out. But if I'm over here and you mention something and it erupts like unconsciously, that means I have either buried that pain and I haven't dealt with it to a point where I have no control when it shows up, or that's actually, you know what? That's it. There's only one choice. You have not dealt with that pain.
He hasn't dealt it, so he's wearing it. It's right on the sleeve. So and anything could trigger him. He definitely,
none of that puts you in a position where you need to be responsible for somebody else's heart. You can't even handle your own heart and your pain. You are not in a space to be responsible for anybody's heart. So he I'm sorry, but I just don't feel like he's going to be able to fit. And he's probably not going to last on the show.
For his own sake, I hope he doesn't.
Well, you say that now. But remember, we are dissecting him with depth. It's a little bit different from when people are watching it from a dating perspective, right? We're analyzing him from a perspective of, okay, let's look at these people and go deeper. But when they're on the show and they're doing this dating thing, and you're not seeing what we can see because they haven't seen a whole VT, we've seen their VT. That's true. You're gonna get what he's giving you at that moment in time. They may not see what we're actually seeing, right? I agree with everybody's sentiment. But we're not seeing, actually, they will see a completely, I won't say completely, but they're going to see a little bit different, because the timing is a bit different. You have to see that person in a certain space. That person might have a representative at the time when they're seeing you. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to really see into him until that mask finally comes off. And I think he will definitely, if he keeps a mask on as long as he could, he can be a star, because he's a really good looking guy. He smiles and I'm like, brother, you are good looking. Damn, like he really is.
But Kojo, once you agree, there's something very dampened about him. There's something very like,
we can see that
satin about him.
No, we can see that. We can see that, but I'm saying from a surface level, when you're on a dating him, you might not see that. You might just see this fine, handsome guy who can talk. He's gonna, let you know about what he does. He has real estate. You'll be hearing all these magnificent things that he does. These houses that he goes to and sells off, and then he also, at the side of it as well, does officiating for weddings. And in your head, you're thinking to yourself, actually, this guy is great. Why is he single? I mean, to snap him up. Let me snap him up. You know what I'm saying? And that is where there may be a difference. And I think the problem with David is that when you are slightly broken, the lens is broken. So I'll keep it 100 real. We all got some brokenness in us, right? Yeah. But the trouble is that it's what he looks for. So he will never look for somebody who actually would be really good for him because he's broken. So the person who's actually really good for him, maybe that could walk on the journey with him at this particular time, he would never look at them, because the brokenness will never look at that person. It will only look at somebody who he really desires, and that person potentially doesn't have the capacity to deal with what he's dealing with. Like, nobody should become your personal counselor. Do you know what I mean? And so he has to go and do some work. But this is a dating show. They're here for TV. They're here to do their little things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even trying to bash him, but I think he could be a great catch if he does some work. It's like Edwin from last season. He is a great catch. Just needs to go and do a little bit of work. Just a little bit of work. Because his viewpoint was to go after Joy. Right? And that's what I'm trying to say to you. He was never going to look. Who's the other person? Winter. He was not looking at Winter. Let's be honest. He never saw Winter. And that's what I'm talking about. His brokenness would have never considered Winter. Maybe Winter might have been better for him, but he would have never considered her because he was going for Joy. And that's the trouble. When you are broken, you never look at that person there. You always look here. So you have to go and do the work. So yeah, I mean, I think he's great, but he just needs to go and do the work. Last person is Kyra.
Oh, Kyra. Kyra, let's say Kyra.
34-year-old attorney, practicing attorney for the last 7 years. She said oh my God, they really did her dirty with her thing, man. They did her dirty. Yep. She was like everyday street girl, ratchet and classy. I said, oh, like Cardi B. I said, oh sis, don't do it. Please don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. And then she obviously, like, her last relationship was also college sweetheart. But there was some infidelity. So she was in a relationship for 9 years. So it's not like she's been single for a long time. She's been in a relationship for 9 years, and there was infidelity in there. She's now finally over it, she says. She likes darker the chocolate. That's better for her. So you might think that, Christian might be her natural thing, but whether she's willing to date a mailman, we don't know just yet. What's your thoughts, if I go for Max, what's your thoughts on Kyra?
So with her, I'm still taking it in. Obviously, she says that she had her college sweetheart and they were together for 9 years. That's a long time. And then it ended because of the cheating. And then I'm just trying to look at her timeline. So it kind of seems like she was dating him, and when she finished dealing with him, maybe she started practicing law, like quite close together, right? So it just makes me think, because for me, I don't know if she said that maybe she did say that she's now ready, but from what I noted, she almost said that she wants to settle down. So it's almost just like, I don't know, to me, in my head, it's like she's going by a clock of like, and if you're going by a clock, I don't know how what's the word? How well you assess what's in front of you, because you already have your own personal drive, right? You already have you're on a mission. If you're ready to settle down, that is what you're ready to do. So in terms of who you meet, I don't know if that encourages kind of compromises and settling because you want to settle down. So I just wonder, like, how is she going to be willing to accept less than she should? That's kind of the only thing that kind of comes to my mind. I don't really have too much to say on her, but that's kind of what comes to my mind. Like, if she is so set on settling down, what could that mean for her in a dating process? That's kind of it.
Good point. Okay, go for it. Hood Bouger, talk to me, man. Kyra.
She was an attorney. So I just think that she just letting us know that she's not all business when she says she's ratchet and classy. So I think she's going to be good for entertainment. I think that she's going to give some of the ladies a run for their money. I think they're going to keep her around for a minute. I didn't really don't have a lot about Kyra, so my notes I really didn't have a lot. I like her. She's okay. Nothing much. Nothing really stood out.
You hear that? Didi, what are you saying about Kyra, Karo?
I think she's in an Amber Alert. She strikes me as the party girl that overdoes it. Like, we would probably go out for the night, and then I'd be like, she would be walking when we go out, and then I'd be carrying her back into the house. Because she looks like the one that would just go to a party and just overdo it. When she said she's a mixture between Cardi B and Michelle Obama, someone make that make sense, because I have no idea what that means. Because you cannot be ratchet and be Michelle Obama. Like, how does that fall hand in hand? But she just looks like she would be good entertainment. Like Kia said, she'll be good entertainment for the show. And she definitely will probably make the show exciting. But then to say she's ready to love, I don't think so.
I hear that. Good points. What are we saying, Lola?
With her, I mean, she could be two things. I mean, and if you think about it, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. So yeah, she's like ratchet and bougie, and she's like Cardi B and then Michelle Obama. But what I think she's trying to sell is, if you think about Black professionals, typically there is this thing where we call like this code switching, like you come from this to that. Maybe that's what she's trying to sell. Now, of course, it being a show that's being produced by people, they're putting her in a box right now. Because remember the shot where she's holding two bottles? I don't know whether yeah, like they got her looking like this, looking like the drunk party girl in Florida or in Miami. So it's left to be seen. It's really hard to make any kind of decision right now. But she's definitely trying to sell us that she's got both sides. Once again, I feel like the attorneys feel the need to defend the serious side. So maybe that's why she's talking about being ratchet and bougie. That yes, I'm bougie, I'm doing all this, I wear skirt suits, but I can let loose and be relaxed. That's what I'm getting that she's trying to sell. So I feel like attorneys now feel the need to do that up front. But I don't have much to say about her. I think that's what she's trying to say. It seems interesting, and she may be a lot of fun. So that's what I have to say about her.
I hear that. Ken?
She said, I'm a savage.
Classy.
Ratchet. No, I mean, we know who said that, Megan, but we still haven't seen the classy side of Megan, so the jury is still out on that. I don't have anything against her. I think she'll be great for TV. I'm looking forward to seeing, what she brings. Yeah, let's just see how it goes. I do find it interesting when people feel the need to define themselves instead of letting people experience them, and they say I'm ratchet and I'm classy. It's usually very debatable, the classy side of the spectrum. So we'll see.
Yeah, I heard that. Aj, what are you saying?
Okay, so with Kyra, say it with me. Kyra. Okay. So with Kyra, she probably does have a very fun side. She probably has a very fun side, and maybe because of that, people don't take her seriously. And so she's trying to explain, like, listen, like, I could cut up in the courtroom too. Maybe that's what she's trying to do. I don't know. But I do see that lawyers do have a tendency, because a lot of people have stigmas about a woman, especially a woman being a lawyer, just because as Black women, we're already seen as argumentative. And so you add on a lawyer and we have to explain ourselves. Like, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm saying, like, as Black women, we have to explain ourselves. So it's like a double negative being a lawyer. And you could be a good lawyer. That should not be something that, takes you out of the realm of being a good partner as well. So it's sad that they have the need to explain that, but I see exactly why they would. It's definitely very sad. But anyway, with her, she's not over her last relationship. She's not. Even when she said it, her inflection, like, her voice just went down when he was like, and we broke up, and you could her voice, her tone just went a little bit down, like it dipped a little bit. So she's not over that last relationship, but because she has a timeline, like Mask said, she's just trying to find someone to fill that position. And someone like that, to be honest, is dangerous, especially as professional women. we tend to be dangerous when we're in that place because we don't value the man. In the same way that we talk about Eric not valuing Virginia and just wanting her kids and her womb and just her to play a position. When we get to that place as women who've made it and we just want to fill that position, that's all we want. We just want a baby, which lets me know that she may not be as committed to the relationship itself and as committed to building a healthy relationship. So that in itself, that's scary for any man who walks into that trap, quote unquote, because she's not going to be willing to give all of herself to that man and to the relationship, because she has one goal: fill that position, make babies. And if you act up, you can hit the streets, because guess what? I could take care of me and my babies. And maybe I'll take you to child support and make some more coins. So I think that might be where she's looking at it from. And, that's just kind of what I picked up from her. Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Was she the one that said the black of the berry, the sweet of the juice?
Yes.
I like her already.
Fam, I'm telling you, bro. Listen, when I saw her, I said,
Kyra. He likes attorneys. From
Amber
Alert to her, bruh. Didi, sit back and relax.
If my sister said the black of the berry, the seed of the juice, hey,
that's
what am I to judge?
I
like
it.
That's
it. She'll take you for your juice and leave the rest behind.
I honestly, that was I think out of everybody, I said Kyra was for me was beautiful.
You forgot to Amber Alert already, and long legs. Who was long
legs?
No,
Amber was cool. Amber was cool. I like cool Ambers, but
the flight attendants, they've all left your mind.
Then I'm not clarifying. I'm not here for any flight attendants, man. If you tell me you don't know why you're dating and you leave for 6 days, you don't know why you're not gonna get them. I don't want to hear anything from now. I know. That's what I'm saying. I know what she's saying. You know what I'm saying? But So I hear that, guys. You guys have summed it up really quickly. I guess I'll ask everybody a quick round. Who would be your top pick? So if you were to choose a member of the opposite sex, who would be your top pick that you would go for, and who is your least favorite of the opposite sex as well? So Lola, since you're blowing hard, talk to us. Who's your top pick and who's your least favorite?
Okay, all right. So it is a tie between the very first guy, who was Joe. I really liked Joe, and because he seemed like some of these country guys are you just want someone you're gonna have a simple life with, that you can build with. I kind of liked Khalil, but like we said, we broke down what was going on. My least favorite, we know this is a no-brainer. It's a tight tie between homie, the producer AJ, and then the 51-year-old. Like Troy. That one don't know he's grown. Yeah, they're holding hands. Yeah, they should be chucked, like after the brunch. They should be sent home. So that's it for me. So just the opposite sex. I don't even talk about the ladies.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Didi, who's your top pick? I think we already know, but who's your least favorite pick?
Kojo, you're instigator. You know that. I would say I'll go with my fellow pure sister. What's her name? Tressa.
Tressa, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I like
the comedian.
I do like her.
The one that attracts the homosexuals.
Yes,
she's pretty cool.
That's her.
Yeah, I like her. And my least favorite would be the I forgot the name. The one that says she don't need a man. What's her name again?
Ida.
Right. Yeah. Ida is my least favorite.
Yeah, I hear that. Ajwa, why are you making that face? Go for it.
It's crazy. Like, why would you not need a man and you coming on a show? Like, just go home. Like, go home. Anyway, so for me, my favorite obviously is Khalil.
Okay.
I like Mr. Boring, yes. And my least favorite is definitely, I'm with Lola. It is between Troy and Mr. DJ. To be honest, Mr. DJ's face is the only thing that looks good, because in some of the pictures I'm looking at him and he just looked like his physique. Like, I'm like, what is going on under those sweaters? Like, what is that? Like, is that man boobs? Like, what are those things? Like,
whoa. That's fighting words.
I don't know. But anyway, so him and Troy, Mr. No Neck, yeah, they can hold hands, and I'm going to add on, they can skip their win on out. Don't like both of them. Peace.
A bit brutal, isn't it? Kenny?
Very brutal.
Wow, Ajwa.
See, that's why I let Bad and Bougie come in, because I'm like, you know what? I like her sentiment.
No, I hear you. I mean, we don't really have too much to pick from, but let's just go with what we have so far. Favorite, and use this definition very loosely. Favorite, just in the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. You're right. So just favorite, David with a little bit of therapy, and then least favorite, Troy.
Okay, that's a little bit of favorite therapy. He hasn't got the therapy yet, so if he doesn't get the therapy, is he still your number one pick?
No, none of them are my number one pick in that case. You just walk away.
You got to choose somebody. No, you got to choose somebody.
I got to choose somebody. So let's go with David.
But you said if he has therapy.
We're not doing potential, Kenny. No potential.
All right. No therapy. Lots of prayer, David.
Took you a minute there,
such a cheat, bro.
If I can't take him anywhere, I'll take him to Jesus. Okay, so lots of prayer. I'll go with David, and God will give me the grace. And then least favorite, Troy. I didn't like how Troy. I know I joined a little late, but I didn't like how Troy said, "I don't like women who are curvy." Wait, let me take that back. I'm not attracted to. I was like, bruh, you just said the same thing, and you said it even worse. I don't know if anyone caught that, but
yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't sound like he has a lot of self-awareness. So let's not go with that. So definitely his favorite, Troy.
Don't worry, you're good. Hood Bouger.
Ooh, so after Dee and Kojo got me together tonight. So my number one pick would be Joel.
Okay.
So I just think he's wholesome. He had, it wasn't a divorce. He had a wife. She had cancer, and he has those 2 kids. So I think he's going to be a good match, because I don't think he's going to do anything too crazy with 2 kids. Yeah. So I think he's safe. Now, my least favorite was AJ, the 38-year-old music producer, with all them Fs. I just didn't like all those Fs. Fit, fine, funny, and all that, whatever. Who sits there and come up with all these Fs? So then he said he's basically he probably dated all the women and probably know all the women. So AJ can go home.
I hear that. Max.
Yeah, favorite is going to be Joel for the reasons that Kia said. Committed family man. I love it. I mean, yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, Joel sounds good. So if he doesn't mess up. And to be honest, all the red flags of the other men I do agree with. The only thing I would add to that is Ryan, who was the third guy, and he said something like, if the women are genuine and here for the right reasons, then I can present myself. I said, huh? What? What are you saying? It did not add up for me. And some of the stuff he said were really off key. So yeah, I think I would, straight, just cut it.
I hear that. I think my number one pick probably would be Kyra. Kyra was for me. Was vibes. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have to mention she wasn't argumentative. You understand? So I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Least favorite is Ida. Straight up. Sorry. Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna have a fight. I feel like I'm gonna be like getting secondhand embarrassment with you doing beef in the streets of too many people. So for me, I'm not about that life. So yes, guys, thank you so much. We have reached the end of our episode 1 of Ready to Love. I'm sure when the show gets a bit more kicking, probably which next episode, and we get to see them in the mixer and see them actually behaving and stuff, we can really start to break down some of the stuff we're seeing. And actually really get to see them in a different light. So I look forward to those moments. But for the rest of those who are in the audience, guys, do us a favor as always, like it, share it. Okay, if you haven't got already subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Okay, we do this kind of stuff all the time. We talk deep on this channel. So if you're shallow, it's the time to come here and learn some depth. Okay, some depth for yourself. But it's been brilliant. It's been beautiful. We will love you and see you guys soon. Appreciate you guys. Oh wait, before I go, who's got YouTube channels here? Fantastic. If you guys would like to promote yourselves on here, we would like to hear your YouTube channels, what they are, and so I can start putting them in the description as well. So Aj, yeah, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, so mine is Unlearning IPOB. I will give the link to Kojo to put in there because sometimes it's hard to find us small YouTubers. So I'm gonna give him the link. It probably be the easiest. But check me out. I talk about lifestyle, self-improvement, and yeah, check me out. I would love to see you subscribe.
Love that. Appreciate that. Yes, Lola as well.
Okay, so mine is my name at Lola Ajisafi. And pretty much it's love, life, relationship, and what goes on in Lola's mind and how she thinks about it and just anything that comes in that realm of things. So it's kind of open, you know, and of course, being my background in medicine, I might throw some topics up there as well. But please subscribe and come visit me, see what's going on over on this side.
DD.
Yeah, well, I've already subscribed to Lola, Joe, and Kia's channel. But like I said, if you
I subscribed to you, Joe, already. Yeah.
If you subscribe to my channel, subscribe at your own risk because I keep it real on my channel. So if you don't want to keep it real, it's not for you. I'm just being honest. If you want to, I'll keep it real. That's all I can say. Subscribe to DD7 Private. My name on screen.
I appreciate it, DD. some stuff on that side, you understand? No, I appreciate that. Guys, thank you again once more for joining us. We will see you again next week. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. We look forward to being able to shell out and talk about some real stuff for you guys as well in the future. Appreciate it, guys. Stay locked and stay loaded.